try to get on.
Yeah, I've got technical issues.
It's fine. It's fine. It's a part of the process. This would
Mm-hmm.
be a lot easier if we were all in one place. Then we could just get together.
Well, around a table, yeah.
Yeah. Only have one computer to worry about to stream everything.
Get one of those tables with a screen built into it.
Oh, that is a goal.
That is the dream. That is the dream, really.
My dream is something I saw on YouTube. Is the desk is the PC.
Oh yeah, I've
you mean
seen those
like all the
before,
components. So it's
On the
those aren't too
perspex.
hard.
And I was like,
You could make that.
oh my god, I want that. And then just have the
next-
screens kind of bolt up.
Yeah.
Those kind of
Where's the next-
adaptable arms on the wall.
The next Mars mission, the next Mars rover is Mars 2020.
Okay.
So it's planned to launch in July or August 2020.
Okay.
That's the next
So a
fast
year.
organ transfer window.
Yeah, and they just sent up a lander, or a lander just landed, or something
Just
like
landed.
that.
It was launched a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Or not, it was launched like almost a year ago. But yeah, the Mars 2020 is, I think it. It's basically the same as the Curiosity. It just carries a different scientific instruments, and it has a core drill.
Yeah.
So it's just another Curiosity, and it'll do the same thing where it does a powered descent drop.
Yep.
It's gonna be interesting.
Hi everyone on my stream.
Hello, everybody on my stream.
Hello, rivals.
Hello, everyone in both streams.
If anyone's wondering, I'm listening to Rammstein right now.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you are. What you listen to?
Ich will and then Du hast.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever watched their music videos? Those guys are surreal.
They are
shit.
crazy.
Yes.
If you ever want to watch one of their music videos without actually watching one of their music videos, Triple X, the opening 10 minutes. It's like, oh my god, that's actually Rammstein. They've got things on their faces and everything.
In the most perfectly lit, the most brightly lit Rammstein concert that ever existed, because you can see every single one of the audience's faces, because it's obviously a film set, and it's not dark and everything. So everyone is it's like a Rammstein party in daylight, which I don't think has ever happened.
And the fact they're totally taking the mick out of James Bond, because the CIA agent is in a tuxedo when he gets killed.
Oh yeah, in a Rammstein concert. Yeah.
At a Rammstein concert.
Well, there was the one time that their stage caught fire and they just kept playing, so the crowd was probably pretty lit up then.
They were probably pretty lit. They were also probably pretty pumped, because that's
I mean, that's the most metal thing ever. Because your stage catches fire and you just keep playing.
Given the fact you've got one guy who has this contraption on his head so that he can spout fire whenever he likes.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the stage gets on fire. It's like, wow, they're taking this to the next level, aren't they? Yeah!
I like the dichotomy here. Is when the Japanese decided they couldn't have war anymore, they made anime. But when the Germans did, they made this shit.
Hey, Rammstein rocks.
And the EU.
Yeah.
So that fix didn't work.
I didn't.
Nope.
The EU didn't do quite as well with their...
In other news, Germany just went into another recession.
Yeah, it's not too surprising.
Reinstalling might have worked. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, I mean,
Fingers crossed.
That's what you had to do when we were doing the Victoria 2.
Yes, I ended up having to reinstall it, and it also really screwed with my internet after that, because it made it really, really difficult.
So this has actually been a really good stretch of it not doing that.
Yeah.
Of Hamachi working as intended.
Yeah. Well, the program's now open, and okay, it looks like I am indeed active finally.
You are. You just showed up. When you open up Fantasy Grounds, there has been an update, so make sure you update.
Okay.
Then you're fine.
Indeed.
Charles is going for it.
I love it. I used to be in a heavy metal band, mate. I was a drummer, so.
I'm
So
just
was
waiting for the
I.
headphones to go flying off.
Not a drummer, I was a bass player, but I was in a heavy metal band. But look at me, I'm the whitest person ever in a heavy metal band. I stuck out like a sore thumb when I got to a
See that?
Go to a gig. I'm there, like I'm dressed in all black at least. But when the entire
Hi,
audience
Midge's
is
mom!
zombies,
How are you?
Midge Mom!
Hi!
Midge mom!
Hi!
I like how she was gonna sneak up on
Hey!
She was gonna sneak up on you, but we gave her away.
yeah, you guys were loud enough in your reaction that she heard you and ducked and trying to get out of the way of the camera.
It's like that poor Cannon with his kid and his wife. Just dives into the room whilst he's trying to give a really important
You know what? But
economy
this is good for
speech.
you, Midge, because it shows that we won't let someone sneak up behind you and kill you.
Yeah.
Oh my
We'll just
God,
start
Midge,
waving
look
like,
behind
hi!
Unless it's ironic. Unless you just
Well, yeah.
previously, right before that happened, said, and nobody's ever going to come up behind me. And
It's
and
like-
we're just gonna not say anything, just out of irony.
I had a dream once.
I had a dream.
No, very similar to that. Have you guys seen the film Happy Death Day?
No.
Yes, sadly.
Yeah, you know the fact that the killer wears like the baby mask.
Yeah.
Well, I had a dream that kind of copied that film, except instead of the baby mask, it was a mask on my own face, like one of those masks that I've got.
Well, that wouldn't be too surprising since
So let
they
me
are
get
a
it
thing.
straight. You were a killer and you wore a mask of your own face.
No, someone
No,
else was
no,
a killer
someone
and
was
wore a
killing
mask
me.
of his face.
I wore a
With
mask
his
on my
own
own face.
face as the mask, which might say something, Mitch, because you have masks of your own face, like in your
Yep.
room right now.
Not in here. They're in my bedroom at the moment.
Oh, I don't know why. I assumed that this was your bedroom that we were looking
No,
at.
we're in my office.
It's a particularly scary thought.
This is just office.
I like to wear the skin.
Oh, that's just a wall. Okay. I thought there
Oh.
was more to the room.
Oh,
on
yeah,
that
I thought
side.
there was more to the... Oh, okay.
That's a very
That
small
closet threw me off.
Yeah. Right? I thought the closet was like maybe double that size.
Yeah, I
actually.
thought it was like mine, where it was like 2 doors.
Yeah,
No,
like
no,
mine over here. It's got-
Yeah, that's the same with my.
Yeah, like,
that's like
if,
in my-
if I bring mine over
I
here,
got like
this is gonna
4
look
of
really
those
weird.
length in the other
Like,
room.
I've got like a double closet over there. That's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you lucky gits. I've got a window, a door, a wall, and a wall. That's it!
Well, is that your bedroom?
No, not quite. But the rest of the bedroom's
Exactly.
taken up with the red one, so...
God, I always hate moving this damn thing because I never get it back to where I need it to. The
I
worst
mean-
part is it's sitting. My computers like do this. Like they're
Yeah.
I'm in the like it's a V going
Put
out.
a
on the
little
screens.
mark, like a blue tank mark or something.
No, it's not that. It's that
Put a ring on it.
where the thing needs to sit is it's a V, and
Yeah.
so there's no good way of sitting it down. So I have to balance
Alright.
it. Okay. So are you here, Stenya?
I am. I am here. I am here. Yes.
Yeah. Just start going into the character as you talk.
Linear is ready for action.
So, well then, let's get started. I'm just going to do the recap this week because I don't know why. Because I haven't done it. Damn it. God damn it. So, last week you guys, well, you were ambushed along the coast road early on, and after
Oh, yeah.
after some hard, some not so hard combat, just depended on who was in whose turn it was at the time. With one of you being up in the air and completely seemingly unable to be touched, except for a couple of daggers being thrown into the meteor chest.
One dagger.
Yeah. Well, 2 were thrown at you, one hit. And a couple others having some problems. Most Arwan, most notably, having some trouble with that combat. Everyone else, was pretty easy, because you had Rivallon completely out into the next county, just shooting arrows into the combat, and you had Ustenia, who was bisecting people with his axe just as he woke up. So after that combat, where you were victorious, you had no further troubles as you moved your way to Gorgon, and you finally arrived at the coastal hold that you have been traveling towards for the last few days. Actually longer than that, because you spent a couple of days traveling to Sleet Hall, then on to Gorgon. So you'd stopped over at Sleet Hall to do did a quest where you weren't planning on it. But you are now at, when you arrived at Gorgon, you split up. Some of you went to the what was it, the Lavender's Mist, the nice bathhouse up in the good part of town called the Narrows. While Isaac decided he was going to just wash himself inside of the Goldwater, which is the bay that the hold sits along. After doing that, the three that went to the Lavender's Mist decided to go do some shopping, or at least go to do some selling. I don't think you bought anything that I recall, anything major.
Just getting the stuff tanned.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Yeah,
skin, the hide
you
skin.
paid for services, but you didn't buy
did.
any items. So
No.
Yeah, you paid for the services of the tanner that you went to.
Yeah.
And what?
Can you bring the map up?
Already have.
Sure, I'll bring the map. You can
We
bring
did.
it up on
We
your
stayed
own.
with our horses as well,
Already?
didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
Oh, is it in images and maps now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
No.
it's been
Yeah.
there.
You go to the page 2.
Mahusiv.
They go down to F. You have to go to page 2, and then you find Gorgon.
Where is
G.
it?
Oh.
F. Press F to pay respects.
Cheers.
There you go. All right, yeah, but
Which
you
isn't that.
after you did this, you paid for the services, and you were told that it would take a week for this process to be finished. You will have your tentacles, the fur, and the head all treated and ready to go for whatever else you wanted done. And while all that was happening, Isaac was moving towards his objective, which I believe you were going to
That magic shop.
Sombra's Imperium, or Emporium,
Yeah.
not Imperium. Which
The
was
Imperium.
which was the magic shop in
Imperium.
town, or at least one of the magic shops in town. I forgot this because I was reading off notes last time, and sometimes I forget things because I'm a person. Not in this world, but a person in real life. There was another shop that was said to carry certain other things, like if you wanted potions or anything like that, near the... Which one was it? Near the... If I can read past my glasses. Around the Salt Exchange. So... And that's where we left off last week. With you just getting to...
Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
Sombra's Emporium. So, yes, it's and you were told, and I don't think you actually entered yet. You just got there. We didn't do anything. So, when you arrive from the directions you were given by a couple of individuals inside of the hold, you find a building that is medium-sized stone with large front windows, and the door seems to be made of be some very nice metalwork. Doesn't seem to be wood. There's like designs molded into it, etc. But that's what you find, and you see a sign again in Dwarvish, and then in Common underneath it, Sombra's Emporium. So, do you want to?
Well, I'll hitch my horse up and I'll enter.
Okay. So when you enter, you find yourself in a large central room with various different display cases lining the exterior. with a bit of work area behind them. And on the interior, you find some more mundane items, kind of laid out. So like kind of some tables with nice embroidered cloaks, etc., put onto these tables. Some various other things. They don't look to be specifically magical. They look to be very fine, but nothing magical there. But you can definitely tell by some of the design work and the care in the items that are in the glass cases. Those seem to be the magical items that are sold here. And when you enter, there are two other individuals that look to be patrons of this establishment. A older gentleman that looks to be half elven, maybe. Very scraggly white beard and kind of wearing long robes, talking with another looks to be half elf woman who's on the other side of the counter. And then there looks to be a dwarvish man who's wearing looks like some sort of religious garb and is looking at a couple of the fine cloaks on a table in the center of the room.
Do I recognize the deity of the religious garbs?
Yeah, he has a very nice embroidered emblem on the back of his what is it called? Tunic. Of Moradin.
Okay.
Which is the dwarvish god.
Yeah.
So he looks to be some sort of priest or cleric of Moradin. But he's got like a midnight blue cloak. He's like looking over, kind of turning it over, pulling up to the light, checking thread count, that kind of stuff. Kind of low murmur from the two talking off into the side. Doesn't look like they're not paying attention to you yet. The owner or worker of the establishment's just working with that one person, the older gentleman. You can tell that the light here is magically based.
Okay.
There's no flickering torches. Everything is like a whitish yellow light, just kind of
like a warm light.
Yeah, in the rafters. Yeah. So you can. So it's like. It's like in areas like newer houses where they have a backlight against white, and that's where you're seeing. It's kind of like that in the rafters of the ceiling. This is how the light's being displayed here.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. So what do you want to do? Or you want to
I'll wait, but I'll peruse while I wait, if that makes sense. So I'll like look at the things close.
You're keeping an eye on them to see when they're done and kind of looking around. Okay. So I'll say, I always do this. I get like ready a half hour early, but I never get my dice out. Never get my dice out. So just let me get my bag out here. While you're looking through the various different display cases, you see some interesting items that look to be laid out with little descriptors. They have like little tags next to them that it doesn't tell you exactly the name, if it has a name or anything, but it tells you what it does in broad terms.
Okay.
So like you look at one and there's a rod, a magical rod, and it says it will allow you to command better or to have an aura of authority, rod of rulership, that kind of stuff. You see some rings that look interesting. One seems to be one that gives you command over the elemental forces of the earth. Like stuff like that, just kind of behind this glass.
Just general trinkets, in other words, you know.
Yeah.
That's as general trinket as the flipping Infinity Stones are.
Yeah.
Looks pretty, has no real worth, you know.
Unless like, are you looking at anything specifically like what? Because it's arrayed in like It's arrayed in the in certain categories. So are you looking for weapons? You're looking for clothing, scrolls, miscellaneous.
Kind of, yeah. I think my character would just kind of see what he sees. If I'm honest, he's here with the goal of selling currently. Buying isn't on the forefront of his mind.
Roll D20.
D20. Yeah, I can do that on the screen, can't I?
Yes, you can.
14.
14.
All right. All right, you're looking. You look over one case, and you see looks to be an ornate stone. It's got very ornate carvings all across it. It's about palm-sized stone, and it's paired with another stone of the exact same, with a mirrored image of the same carving on it, and it there it the little descriptor gives you the idea that they're sending stones.
Oh, okay. As in,
I mean, if you
like, communicating.
yes, if you need to, you can look these up inside of the items tab. That all these,
I forget that's a thing. Yes, okay.
yeah, so sending stones. If I look at it right here on the thing, sending stones come in pairs, with each carved to match the other, so the pairing is easily recognized. You touch one stone, you can use an action to cast sending stone from it. The target is the bearer of the other stone. Once sending stone is cast, since you can't be used again. So it uses the spell sending on it, so you can send a short message. It's essentially a walkie-talkie to send 25 words or less.
That's really cool.
Once a day. So, and it's all range. So you see that, and nearby you see another set of sending stones, but these ones seem to be a different make. More battered, older.
Difference with it is like Sony and Walkman.
Kind of, yeah, essentially. But yeah, you see these are kind of the smaller items, but there's weapons and other various things arrayed along these cases. And if you like at one point you put your hand on one of the glass, the glass of the case to lean over a bit, and you can feel a little buzz in the glass. Doesn't look like this is normal glass. Maybe there's something to make sure that this doesn't get stolen.
Probably some sort of wall.
Yeah, but you can definitely feel some magic in this display case. But it takes about another 10-15 minutes before the older gentleman is presented with a stack of papers that look to be neatly arrayed, and it looks to be very nice paper. The kind you would see for spell books or other mystical wares or necessities, is presented with a stack of that, and he presents a good stack of gold pieces towards the individual on the other side of the counter, and leaves. Once that transaction is finished, you see the woman look over towards you as you are nearest to her, and she smiles towards you, and how can I help you, sir? Do you require any help?
Yes,
or are you just browsing?
I have a number of items in my possession that might be of interest to the shop.
Oh, well, I will be certainly happy to look over them and see if they are something we'd be interested in buying.
Okay, so just to clarify this with the party, I'm offering the flask that's pretty much necromancy.
Yeah.
The black vial.
And the acid dragon sputum, whatever it is.
Yep.
The black dragon acid.
Yeah. Those two things, yes?
And the scroll of control flames.
Oh, and the scroll of control flames. Right. I lay the items out on the table.
Right. You see her pick up the black vial, and her eyes kind of go off in the distance for a second before coming back. Ooh, interesting. Does the same thing with the acid, then looks at it closely. Oh. Even more interesting. Shakes it a bit. Kind of gets a feel for how full it is. And then looks to opens the scroll up, looks at that. Well, sir, I definitely think we could do some business. Are you looking to sell or trade?
Whatever one is more mutual.
Okay.
Interesting
Well-
way to open things up with the shopkeeper. You know, walk into the local newsagents. Hey, what can I do you for? Whatever will be most pleasing for us both. What, do you want to buy some fucking eggs or some milk, mate? Like, make your mind up. We're greengrocers.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well,
Oh.
sir, we could, if you're trading in, that could go towards the purchase of a item that's available for purchase on any one of our shelves or inside of our cases, or multiple items depending on the price of them. Straight selling would just give you the gold pieces directly if you were planning on buying something else. So it is up to you, sir. If you want to sell it or would you like to trade, or we could have a combination if you would like. It's not a definitive.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What would you base? What would you value the items at to you?
Well, let's see here. Your it varies greatly. The acid is less. It would be better if it was full. It's missing a bit of it. So that's going to be a bit cheaper. It's not going to fetch you full price on that. The black vial is actually very rare. It's not very common. So I value that at, let's see here, with the current trade. And she kind of under her breath starts talking. If we look at current trade values of market, I'd say 120 gold pieces. Current market value. The black dragon acid, if it was full, I could get to maybe 100, but because it's not full, I'm going to have to say 80 gold pieces. Near enough. The scroll is unfortunately it's not that uncommon. It's fairly low level spell. Most individuals would be able to cast this innately if this was their school of magic. So I'd say 10 gold pieces for this. Now this is before the company tax. Just warning on that.
Insight check.
All right, roll an insight check. Or what are you trying to insight first?
I'm trying to insight if she's lowballing me.
Okay.
18.
18. You think she's giving you fair prices on the items for what they are?
Really?
I mean, the black vial gives you one healing potion, which is it gives you a healing potion for blood, and it has a chance of not working after the first time. And it's fairly limited. So a normal healing potion is 50 gold pieces. So it's about double the price of that, and then mark up on that. The acid, it's really good acid, but it is missing some of it. It's not innately magical. It's just acid. And the scroll is just it's a cantrip scroll.
The cantrip scroll, yeah, that's about right on. It was more the rare item.
It's rare, but it's not utility. It's very utility It doesn't have as much utility to a lot of people, so it's very limited. To somebody who, there are certain people that it would be very good for, but general market is very limited on that.
And you say that's before the tax?
Yes. Do you, are you familiar?
I've heard of the tax, but this is my first time in Gorgon.
Oh, every item that is, well, the Silver Sand Company has a deal with the local government, and every transaction that is not directly carried out by Silver Sand affiliates is taxed 10% that gets paid back at the end of the month to the company. So for the purposes of this, essentially 10% of whatever is the worth that you would be receiving you will not be getting back. Instead of 120 gold pieces, you would 12 of that would be withheld, so to be given to the company at the end of the month.
This sounds an awful lot like factoring.
Yeah. Also, that sounds weird that it would happen on a sale from someone from outside who isn't.
Sounds more like you're trying to.
I can understand it on a purchase. No, I'm just trying to get around this in my head. I can understand it if I was buying from them, but on a sale from me doesn't quite compute.
Rivallon sends a mystical mind message to Isaac saying, "Don't you dare."
It's a scam.
Yeah, this is a huge scam.
I mean, I get it, but I don't get it at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why they're doing it. It's to prevent any influx of goods not brought in by the Silver Sands Company. At the same time,
So, are you going this? Are you saying this?
I can understand. Well, the thing is, like in my head, I could understand if they had to pay it, but I don't understand why we do.
You're transacting. You're paying into.
Yes,
you're
but
doing a transaction in the city limits. That means you are benefiting of it, and since they can't depend on you to make a payment at the end of the month,
it's the build. It's the shop that's part of the city, so surely it should come out of their end rather than our end.
It is.
Are you making this argument directly to her?
Are you making this argument? I'm asking you. Are you saying this aloud, or are you just doing this all out of character? Because
I'm at the moment. I'm trying to get this in my head.
Your
right
character
now.
doesn't know anything else, so I can't give you anything else unless you're like actually saying anything.
Walk away. We can sell it somewhere else.
What I'm thinking. Yeah, I do believe this is a little low for what I was expecting. I might have to take my business elsewhere.
I can guarantee you, sir, you won't find many better prices, and you'll also find far less shops that deal in these items.
But I won't have to lose out if I'm not in Gorgon.
That is true, but the nearest shop that I know that deals in these kinds of items is in the capital city or up near Nordarim. I can say that if you did trade in your item, then the value would be a little bit more fluid for another item.
Trying to force you.
Technically that is not a trade. That is more of. That's not a transaction. That is more of an exchange, which you can tell that she's not lying to you. she's bullshitting a law.
Yeah.
This city's
Bullshitting a
run by
law that
lawyers.
maybe she doesn't like. A trade-in is not a transaction, it's an exchange, which strictly is not under the purview of the transactions law with the company.
So, as an exchange, he noticeably looks around, as if to hint, oh, what is on the table?
Is this city just run by lawyers?
No, it sounds reasonable. It's basically, though, it's a sales tax. But rather than the sales tax being on the part of... Basically, if we was a resident in the city, it would be incumbent on us to pass on the sales tax, right? But because we're not resident, they want us to give the money to the company, and the company will hold on to it, effectively. It's just a tax. That's all.
Yeah.
It's a tax, yeah.
Nothing more than just a value added on tax, a sales tax. That's all it is.
It's like a VAT, basically.
Kind of, except in this way, essentially because you're getting money back for just putting a thing in there, they're just withholding a bit of it to pay for the transaction in the way that this works.
So yeah, sort of like tariffs. You have to think like the cities back there.
Yeah, it's basically a city tariff on any goods bought or sold. It's kind of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
because does that mean they're paying a tax as well to sell me?
That is the tax that they're beholden to pay anything that goes through their hands, giving or receiving, because it's a transaction. She informs you this. You ask. She's informed you. That's what's happening. They are by law required to give a 10% of any transaction, which strictly means money exchanging hands, goods exchanging hands for money, or vice versa. So then it's the law, and she says, I don't particularly support it or like it, but it's the company and the city have a deal, and Silver Sand, you don't go against Silver Sand.
Oh, it's like that.
I could potentially give you the equivalent of... Does it in her head a little bit? A 400 gold piece item.
Okay.
Or subdivided into equivalent to 400 gold pieces.
Okay. Question for the DM then. Are there any standing 400 gold piece items that stand out to me?
I mean, you wouldn't know exactly the price of these items, but you want me to
don't like
list
this
the
DM
things?
anymore.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know the price unless you asked, but I can give you like a list of items that are available.
Okay.
There's a plus. I'm just gonna give you the actual rules instead of giving you all the fluff for some of these things, because just to let you know. And she'll go over this, and she's going over this with you. The list. There's a +1 weapon. It's a sickle. A +2 shield. +2 hand crossbow. A bag of devouring. Cloak of the bat. Figurine of wondrous power, an onyx dog. Glove of missile snaring. There is Gigamontum's ornament. I actually don't know what that one is off the top of my head. I'll have to look that one up. Then there is you can just look it up in the item.
Yeah, I know. I just double checked myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Which if I look this up, Keo. Yeah. Keo. Keo. Let's see here. Item.
That doesn't come up for me.
Oh, it's in my Dungeon Master's Guide. As an action, okay, so it has 3-inch diameter glass jar, faint.
Oh, it's because we have DM's
Yeah.
guide players.
The it smells faintly of aloe. It essentially gives you 2d8 plus 2 hit points every time you take a dose. Causes to be poisoned and is cured of any disease. So it's kind of like a better type of ointment. Ointment.
Chat who are asking what a bag of devouring is. Basically, remember the bag of holding? It's the opposite. It eats people.
Yeah, it eats things.
Nice.
There's a ring of earth elemental command, a rod of rulership, 2 sending stone sets, scroll of blindness deafness, scroll of call lightning, scroll of color spray, scroll of insect plague, scroll of locate creatures, scroll of mirror image, scroll of power word kill, and an unbreakable arrow.
Please.
I know what Rivallon wants.
Is there any of these that appeal to you?
Yeah, there's ones that appeal to me, but just knowing of prices in my head, I don't think they will appeal to our price range.
I'm using a different price sheet for this campaign.
Okay.
There's a fandom made sane magic prices price sheet because the economy makes no sense in the normal D&D
okay,
thing.
yeah.
Because like an item could be anywhere between 101 to 500 gold pieces, and it's based on rarity. They've actually applied a price for every magical item in the game.
Okay.
As a base. So
the shield.
A +2 shield. So let's see.
So I think put that on Ustinia and he's fucking
tankings.
Nothing will hit the tank.
It's like a fucking
So turning you into a fucking what's the what's the British tank with like 16-inch armor back in like the Second World War that just nothing could pierce?
Oh, I know
the alligator.
A plus
No.
2 shield.
Wasn't the Centurion, was it?
Possibly.
I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know. I probably know it, but I didn't hear the description of it.
16-inch armor, British tank, World War II era.
The thing that like only like
not Matilda, no, Tortoise.
No, Matilda, yeah, Tortoise possibly. Yeah.
Tortoise. Yeah. No, I was thinking the Matilda. The Matilda is a very heavily armored medium, but that's not 16.
No, it's a light tank.
I'll be like a one-man testudo.
It's a medium tank. It's medium at that point. The +2 shield, she informs you would cost. Shit, I just had it on this. It's and when you look at it, it's incredibly innately engraved with runes of strength, very dwarvish writing on it. It's more of a kite shield by the looks of its design. Said it would be 6,000 gold pieces.
See, this is what I thought.
The +2 weapon would be similar in price, if I recall.
The sickle, yeah.
4,000 gold pieces.
Jesus.
Well, the magic items are expensive.
They are, yeah. That's why I said if there was anything in our price range.
But I do know +1 weapon is 1,000 gold pieces, so you have about half of that.
I don't think the rest of the party together could put together 500 gold pieces. No. Organized +1 weapon would be.
I got 158 gold pieces. That's it. That's all I got.
I can't remember. I see that it's in the inventory, isn't it? It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 46 gold pieces. Like
86.
Okay.
For price range, the
133.
The color spray scroll is 60 gold pieces.
I could have taken that spell.
Call lightning.
Oh lordy.
Is it just the scrolls that are in our price range?
I'm double checking everything.
We got a minor language now. There's a young man watching.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I can-
that's-
I-
that's a
Oh,
problem,
young man.
Oh, okay.
'cause I am not a.
Glad somebody else did that.
Yeah, the Onyx dog is way too expensive for you.
Yep, thought so. They're about 1,500, I think.
3,000.
Oh, okay. Double what I thought. Right, even worse.
3,000. Just because the ivory goat is like 400, so it goes. There's a range for your usefulness. Looking at the sending.
Yeah, who needs a random goat? What is it?
2,000 for the sending stones. Yeah, almost everything but the scrolls are out of your price range at this moment.
Yeah, this isn't worth it. I'm just gonna take my leave.
You've got, and by the way, for the scrolls, you have blind deafness, called lightning, color spray, insect plague, locate creature, mirror image, power word kill. Out of all those,
I mean, power word kill is amazing, but
that one might be out of your price range. I don't know. I have to look at the level. I'm comparing level to because it's all level 9.
That's
I
a
love
level 9 spell, so
I love
yeah.
how Roach is like deliberately listing off all of these items, already knowing that we can't afford any of them.
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm looking, guys.
You're the DM. How can you
Well,
not
that's
know?
that's
I
why
have
I
a
was very
list of
surprised at how cheap the vial is as a magic item, considering.
Though the vial's it's just not worth a lot to a lot of people. It uses necromancy. Yeah, that's out of your price range because the level 6 spell is 1,000.
Called it.
Right, yeah, I'm gonna say sorry. There's nothing.
Too rich for our blood.
Yeah, too rich for our blood, and take my leave and head to the Temple of Paylor to meet the rest of the party.
So you don't. All right, so you don't. Do you not go to the other shop?
No.
There's another shop in the town that's in the Salt Exchange that does like things like health potions and not as much item, a lot of potions and stuff that you were told about.
No. Nope.
Okay then. All right. So all of
Scrolls
you...
don't really help this party. If we had a wizard, I'd be
I
awful.
mean, all of you can use scrolls.
Yeah, but once.
The one-time use.
True, but
Whereas a wizard can just learn them.
well, they cost a lot of money because they have to spend a lot of money on those on the paper and ink, which is like 100 gold pieces per level.
But even so, being able to pick up like
So Power Lord Kill would cost 900 gold pieces, and he would also need to be the right level to cast it.
even so,
Speaking
I'd take that.
Speaking of expense of the paper and ink, Jesus, Crimson, you must be having lots of expensive paper and ink because I just heard and saw you flicking through page after page after page.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing there?
Are
Your
you
taxes?
are you the first?
He's working out how much he owes the city of Gorgon over the years.
You got like are you one of those people that writes notes, but it's in like 18, it's like 26, there's like font size, something like that.
Yeah, and I'm not very organized, so I'll just open my notebook and start writing notes, and then I have to flip through it to find them.
Right,
Yeah, that's some heavy paper though for your notebook because I was really hearing it.
Oh well, I was also flipping through the
DMG.
Yeah, looking at these items.
Yeah. So okay, you guys. Well, yeah. So I'm gonna say it would take you you spend enough time looking through items, going through price ranges, talking over the idiosyncrasies and differences in the Gorgon economy to what you're used to for the amount of time. That'll take up the time.
I come to D&D to for escapism. I don't want to face VAT charges.
Why are you paying taxes in my D&D, damn it?
I don't want to have to keep
You chose to come to
receipts.
this city. You chose to come to this city, damn it.
Next thing you know, we're having to file
it.
social security.
Yeah,
we get injured.
We're gonna get frisked at a border in a minute.
Only if you're registered.
Yes, sir. If you just bend over.
I'm gonna have to take my shoes off before I go on the airship.
Everyone, put your daggers and wands in the plastic bins.
And then step through the magically enhanced metal detector.
I've got to face all that
like
again.
a hobgoblin TSA up there.
Roach is slowly writing down notes.
Yeah, he's like, you walk up to me, he's like, "Hello, sir. Here's my bow. There you go. Okay, well, just go over here.
Like
I'm sorry, you trying to rush me or something? What are you hiding?"
You know what's even better? It'd be like you'd come up there with like your bow and then arrows, right? It'd be like, okay, yeah, that's fine. You can take those on, but not that many, sir. You're only allowed to take 15 on.
Sir,
You're gonna have to
bring them down to 5
bin
per
over
bag.
there.
No more than 5 per bag.
Oh, and you have to empty your canteen out.
Yeah, you're not taking any fluids with you.
Canteen. You can have the canteen, but it has to be transferred to a water skin instead of being a hard.
You're only allowed small health potions. Anything larger must be placed into the bin over there.
Find a greater healing potion on any of you. You're not getting on this. You're not getting on this ship.
Fantasy TSA agents.
I'm not in any rush. I do this all day.
Yeah, I love the idea. It's just like there's like a dock somewhere. It's a magic wand. It's like it's a detect magical item thing. It's just imbued with that, and it's just like nope, you'll take that.
You know this Friday.
Like,
this is all I'm going to think about as I'm standing in Stansted security for the umpteenth time going back up to Scotland. I'm just going to be thinking about this. Looking at the real security guards like they were actually goblins.
You know, in Shrek 2, they have like the fantasy police force TV show skit. Yeah. Well, I'm imagining that, but now like a border security TV show with like fantasy things. So it's like an ogre opens like a container and they're cutting open like a sofa and it's got like pixie dust instead of PCP being stored inside of it.
Guys, I've got my pixie dust over here!
Just bring it wyvern tears. Yeah, try and bring it over all the time. All right.
Please have your visa parchment.
Can we please try and do an episode of that on every channel? Just all get together and just do a border patrol thing, but do it for fantasy creatures.
God.
But the thing is, though,
see this?
The gates.
You know, the unicorns die each year for these horns.
Let's get back on track.
Isaac, you spent the same amount of time doing your
Mitch died.
Your aborted shopping trip, and you're looking around and taking a bath in the river, just a lot more lazily than the others did. The others were moving pretty at a good clip, so you get there a little sooner than the others. You're there for about maybe 10 minutes near the Temple of Palor before you spot Eustenia and Rivallon through the crowd. The general average height is a lot shorter because it's dwarvish. So you see they kind of stand out. You and them, like, you stand out. Like, you can see each other over the crowd for the most part. So yeah, it took you about maybe you're there for about 10 minutes before anybody else shows up. So is there anything you wanted to do while you had that time, or you just went out near the temple?
No, I'd go into the temple. I think my character would want to go in and almost make himself comfortable, considering this is the first. Like, almost take a deep breath, and it's the first time he's been somewhere that's devoted to his deity. It's a comforting moment for Isaac.
Sort of like every time that I go somewhere else and I enter a pub that serves English breakfast.
Yeah.
It's just like home.
Well, you've had a long day and you can't be bothered to cook, and it's been a long week, and you decide, you know what, I'm just going to go step inside this McDonald's for a while. Like 20 minutes. You know exactly what you're having. You get the order, you just sit down and you go, okay, I'm fine now.
Okay, then. So just hold on a second. I need to actually find there we go. I forgot there was a third page of this. All right. So you're at the edge of the Narrows district, right before you get into it proper, and the Temple of Palor is quite large here. You can see that there's a main worship area that you can walk into in the front. That is it's not that active right now. It's got the doors are open. You can see individuals walking in the interior when you go inside. Everything's lit by kind of a candlelight. Is the predominant light in this main chamber, and it's very open, tall, which seems to be a mark of its affluence, as most of the buildings this far from the center of the Narrows District are actually pretty squat because they have to kind of make do with the levels above them. Because remember, this is a very vertical city. A very tall interior, and it's got direct sunlight onto the building. It's very open above it.
This doesn't sound very dwarven.
It's not Palor, which is not necessarily a dwarven god. And
it's a human god.
It's non-denominational. But you see in the interior some people milling about, going between some of the stained glass windows and murals on the wall, looking through them. Some people praying on their knees. There's no actual benches or anything here. Very open. You see a large bust, looks to be made of a bluish gray stone of Palor's image at the center back of the chamber that you're in. It's like looking up slightly. Very, very well lit. Like the sun is pouring in through multicolored windows around it, making for an interesting image in terms of the colors that are playing across it. But that's what you see. You are noticed by a few individuals who are off to the back near one of the look to be like the temple staff. The individuals who live here, they don't look to be clergy. They look to more like monks or individuals who live on premise long period.
Okay.
Like they've got long robes. Like maybe you remember in Kingdom Come Deliverance, what your character had to wear, like very basic, basic robes. So kind of like that, but with it's colorful. There's colors of Palor and the prominent
Yes,
colors,
brother.
But yes, brother. That's what you see. You see a couple of individuals, like, 'cause they can see you're of Palor because you don't hide it.
I've got a
You've got a
giant
tabard.
Palorian tabard on
You
my.
got a big tabard. You have a holy symbol on you. You're wearing armor. You have an air of a cleric, of a traveling cleric of Palor or a paladin of Palor from the exterior.
Crusaders.
Kind
Paladins
of
of Palor are called Crusaders.
Oh, there they are. Yeah, you have that air to them. So a couple of those individuals they're shorter than you by a bit.
Yeah.
Off to the side, they're like whispering to each other, and one of them like very
Notably for the first time as well, Isaac's gonna take off his hood. He doesn't like being seen outside without his hood, but this is the first time he's like gonna take off his hood and like not hide, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you're bald underneath, right?
No, I've got.
Describe yourself underneath the hood. I don't think anybody's seen you.
So, he's got like very short, slightly curled, copper bronze hair.
Okay.
It's like
a strawberry blonde kind of thing.
Yeah, very very shiny, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the kind of the way to describe it. It's almost metallic in like sort of nature, and then he obviously you can't see any pupils in his eyes, and that's very clear now. Like there's no hood that like casts a shadow over his eyes. It's like it's clear as day that his eyes are clear as day, and yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're looking at you, talking under their breaths. You can't hear them. Like the acoustics are very echoey in here, so that's all the footsteps and people praying underneath it kind of echoes for a bit. So you can't hear past a certain distance here. very private. Although it's open, it's very private. It feels like things are very self-contained around you, because of the way things just dissipate. Yeah, you can see them talking. You see like one of the ones looks like the younger one's like pointing, trying to be
subtle but not.
subtle, but yeah, it's not really. You know.
Yeah.
So you're noticed by the individuals living here. But there is plenty of open space on the floor. That like I said, people are like kneeling or and the like, doing some prayers around in various different sections of the floor. So the floor is not just a solid stone floor. There's no murals or anything on it. So, what do you want to do while you wait for your friend?
I'm just gonna go to the foot of the statue and kind of greet it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, I did say it's not
How's it going,
it's not
man?
a full statue. It's a bust.
What, mate?
It's like it's a larger than life bust. Like it's like maybe 3 times the size of like a standard person, but a bust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. I'm gonna put my hand on the base of the statue and just kind of. It's not a prayer, but it's like a sort of almost like a greeting, like a
So.
it's like a comfortably home sort of thing. You know, if you've been away from your house for a long time, you kind of, when you first walk through your front door, you kind of take in that surroundings of being home sort of thing.
Okay. You do so. You feel at ease. A little warm.
Yeah. Warm inside. And then I'm just going.
In fact, even though it's in the middle of an open air chamber, the bust itself is warm. Like the stone that it's made of, or maybe just the holiness of it is. It's like it's not hot, just warm, as if you were like touching, like somebody else's skin or something like that kind of warm. Definitely like that.
And then if the rest of the party aren't here yet, I will see if I can introduce myself to whoever looks the most important around here in terms of the temple.
Okay. Well, after you do that, yeah, there'd be a couple of minutes before they'd show up. So you look around, you see a couple more of the initiates, the kind of garb that you see. But off in one corner, that you see an individual who seems to be lighting candles. They have like a little flame that they're lighting candles and adjusting a small it looks like a little statue of Palor in an alcove. They look to be more ornate. They have more ornate robes on.
Okay.
They don't look to be the same kind of really basic robe that you saw before. So what do you wanted to go and introduce? So what are you doing specifically?
I will go over. I will introduce myself by name, not exactly what I am or anything. And
how are you doing so? Don't describe that you're just introducing. What are you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, that happened.
Greetings, sir. Palor's light be with you.
Didn't say.
I
didn't say. It's so.
Oh,
I guess I
sir or
didn't
madam.
say.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
madam.
It's a lady.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that description, dear.
That was my fault. That was my fault. I thought I had said that, but I was getting.
Madam.
Madam.
Madam, Palor's light be with you. Oh, that would be a horrible thing. They had a hood and turned out it was a woman. Those
I'm always sees you're blind. It seems you're. Oh, okay.
Yeah, double awkwardness with this.
Yeah.
Greetings, madam. Palor's light be with you. I'm looking for someone who might be able to help me and my friends who are yet to arrive.
Light be upon
is that...
you too. What specifically do you need? I might be able to help.
We are a group of adventurers, and we came across a curious piece of text that none of us are able to translate, and we would wonder if anyone here or at the library section, I hear there's a library section to this temple, would be able to help us.
We do have a temple library, but it is restricted to those of the faith.
Uh,
She rolled a 1 on her perception check.
Oh,
that bad.
Yeah, you make a gesture. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
As this is going on, you three walk into the main chamber as you've been instructed that you'd meet here. So you see Isaac in the corner near an alcove talking to what looks to be a middle-aged human woman wearing kind of religious garb. So you, as you're walking up, you start hearing the conversation.
Wait, how tall is this woman?
About average height, about 5'6" ish. So she's looking
okay.
up at you.
Yeah. So my holy symbol's probably in her face.
She was looking up. She didn't see it. But you come in around. Wow. You walk in at around this part of the conversation. Well, it could be arranged for you to look at the temple library, though it mostly pertains to elements of the faith and the history of this temple in Gorgon and its predecessor before we moved into this part of the city. I am not sure translation would be something that it would be helpful with. It would depend. What text are you having trouble with?
Do I see the others enter?
Yeah, you saw them when she was.
Okay. I beckon them over and I introduce this this sprightly fellow here. This is R1. This larger gentleman is Ustinia, and the elven kin is Rivallon. These are my friends.
She bows her head politely to each of you as you're introduced.
So
I'm visibly nervous being inside of a temple. Visibly nervous.
We found a piece of text that is in Undercommon, and we wondered if anyone would be able to translate it for us. Do you know of any scholars, any of the temple staff might be able to?
Kind of looks off to the side. Not in the temple staff. Other languages are not necessarily a part of our training when we are brought up from our being initiates to being members of the faith. But scholars do visit sometimes to our temple. In fact, looks off to the side. She looks over near another end of the chamber, and you can see a small procession of what you know now to be called initiates, newly entered into the faith, being led by a looks to be an older woman, probably in her 60s or 70s, who's wearing a much more ornate but drab. In terms of colors, like very
faded.
Like, yes, like it's been the same one. So it's like a lot of the white's a bit like the yellow.
She's been in her position. Yeah. She's been in her position for like 20 years, and it's what they gave her at that 20 years ago ceremony. Yeah,
maybe.
Okay.
Though it's very immaculate. There's no stitching that's noticeable. It's been out in the sun a lot. It's been used a lot. But you see her leading some initiates. You can't see her hands because it's like hidden inside of the sleeves of her robe. But you see the individual you're talking to. She looks over, recognizes, and then calls out, Sister Agatha. Moment, please.
Oh, that's the name we got before, I think. Yeah. Okay.
And you see Sister Agatha, you assume, look over towards you, and turns back, and it's lost in the echoes and dissipation of the architecture of this room. She speaks to the procession, and they continue on, walking and like murmuring to themselves. Like you think like maybe a penance prayer or something like that, going into another chamber. But this older woman walks over towards you, greets the individual you've been talking to, and looks over with a nod to her head. And how can I help, Sister? What's her name?
Sister, what's your name again? Yeah.
But she's not very perceptive, so
I mean,
probably
if
doesn't
it's a
recognise her.
subordinate, if it's a subordinate, she might just say sister.
It's true, but that wouldn't actually. That's not how I had it written here. Sister Norna. How may I help, Sister? This individual and his companions are having some trouble with a bit of literature. She looks towards you, some grabbing for a word. Bit of literature or an object.
I pull out the parchment.
That they require translation for, and they're wondering if maybe we may be of help, or if they could look towards the library for aid in the translation. I think that looks towards the piece of paper. Well, the library is usually restricted to members of the faith, but obviously.
Okay. Okay. I thought they were gonna say again. Nobody realized I'm literally where.
You can see she's looking towards the piece of paper. She doesn't. She's not looking at it. She's looking. You can see her when you look at her face. Just like her eyes, cataracts. She is.
Did I just
made fun of somebody that actually can't see? Not that well.
Oh wow!
Smooth, Isaac. Smooth.
It's one of those things. I did the thing. I was like looking at the thing.
You did what people do to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She can't.
Anyone looking in on this scene, everyone's gotta go.
Obviously, if you know anything.
Blind leading the blind.
She can see some. She can see some things up close and like things like. She can tell that you're part of the face. She's next to you now. She can see that. But she probably can't tell the fine detail or the writing of this at all. What is the writing on it? What is the language of this? I am quite familiar with our library. I could.
After a brief discussion with one of the workers of where we found it, it appears to be undercommon. However, their knowledge of the language was only 1 or 2 words and could tell us that much.
Unfamiliar language to those above ground. Records are very limited. Even more so for the purview of our library.
Yes, we found it toward in Fair Harbor, and obviously this was the closest Fall Harbor. Sorry, Fall Harbor. It's been a while since we were there.
It's been a while.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's been a while.
I got close. Sorry, Fall Harbor.
So for your characters, it's only been a week or 2.
Yeah, very true. But and this was the nearest place with anything close to scholarly learning.
Sister Agatha, they also asked if there might be a scholar who would be of some aid or have knowledge of this, and I recalled that there was that gentleman that came by recently to look through our library before he was informed of the policy. Do we have any knowledge of where he may be? Agatha looks off in the distance as she seems to just consistently looking off. She doesn't seem to focus on anything. A gentleman was a Teutonian who came by for research, I believe, to the history of the hold. He's most likely still in the city. He did tell us where he would be staying if we had ever changed our mind. I'm not sure if he understood policy specifically, but I believe he's currently staying at the... Hold on, where's Kiri staying? Where is he staying? I've got it all written down here. I've got... This is... Well, guys, I'm just going to inform you guys, like, the notes I have for the city setting alone is 6 pages worth of stuff on this.
Wow.
So it's a big city.
It's a very big city. I'm trying to go through here. I wish I had highlighters, but I don't have highlighters, so I could just like highlight this stuff. Oh yeah, they're staying in the larger inn in the Narrows, the White Mug. He informed us that he goes by the name. No, it wasn't Gary. That was the wrong one. He goes by the name Frederick Bosch.
Boesch?
No, Bossh.
Oh.
It's pronounced differently to Teutonians, but she's lived here her whole life. It's also, I mean, technically, it's to him it would be Friedrich Bosch or something like that. But whatever. He's staying at the inn. He seems to be of a scholar of some description. Publishing or writing a paper for something. I'm not entirely sure. He may be of aid if you are looking for someone knowledgeable. He seemed to have some experience in languages. He spoke fluent Dwarvish. And Teutonian and well, he spoke Teutonian more in... I don't know it, but I do know how to swear in it, and he did that quite a bit.
Ah. A woman of the world, I see.
I wasn't always a superior.
I found the name for the episode on the podcast as well, Bash the Bosch.
Hey, we're not beating this man up yet.
Yet.
May I ask where you are from? All of you? You are a very odd bunch. A man of the faith of some descript. And kind of like squints her eyes and gets kind of uncomfortably close to you, Arwan. Halfling. Halfling. Not a child. Halfling.
Oh no, he's far older than I am.
An elf of the wild, and you, sir.
Wow!
Best
Racist.
Today, yeah.
You, sir. Well, yes, I am Mutatian. I come from the plains. Across the mountains.
I did a missionary stint in the capital city.
Ah, you did. Which clan did you were you hosted by?
It was just the capital city. Hold on, actually, I have to check the map for a second. I don't remember my Uteshian cities off the top of my head. Rovodrok.
Rovodrok.
On the southern side.
The southern side. I come from the northern side. We don't get along too well.
I remember going through there on my way to my mission. It was quite nice.
Indeed, the field's beautiful.
And you, young halfling?
The Rabbler Hills, ma'am. Like, Arwen is super nervous. Super scared.
Quite far from home. And you, sir? Nods her head towards towards you, Rivallon.
Hi.
Yeah.
Raised by wolves, families betrayed. Want to kill everyone.
Well, that is quite a...
Okay. I'm gonna just grab him and start pulling him away.
Oh, bless me.
She asked!
Motivation right there.
She asked me where I came from. I'm raised by wolves, have my family betrayed, and I want to kill everyone.
Alrighty then.
I assume you got beaten by your brother to building the city. Then that's why you're so bitter.
A Romulus and Remus reference. Christ.
Oh, we're getting classical up in here. And you, sir, looks up towards you. She's smaller. She's smaller than the
Oh God. Giant amongst men.
She's quite like from her age. You can tell she's hunched a little bit. It's down. She's looking up towards you. And you, where are you from? And what temple do you hail?
I hail from one of the monasteries up in. I'm looking at the map. I'm trying to remember.
Do we have a map?
Up in heaven. I mean,
you
no.
have an Rivallon map. You have a map of Rivallon.
I believe up in the Cardinal Empire.
Yes, you're correct. It was you were from one of the first kingdoms. There's only 3. So yeah, there's 30% chance of that one.
I was trying to remember the middle one, what its name was. I was like,
yeah, it's the Cardinal Empire. You should have an Rivallon map. Yeah, is there?
Yes,
yeah,
we do.
A second D&D world map, version 3.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I'll rename it. I'll rename it later.
Yes. I hail from a monastery in the Cardinal Empire.
A cleric?
I suppose that's one of the many strands.
What is your function in the church, my son?
I am an inquisitor.
Oh, it has been a while since we've had an inquisitor join us. Are you here for a purpose?
You could say he was almost unexpected.
Oh no.
Well, you never expect the Palor Inquisition.
Damn it.
Oh,
Achieve element's prize, fear and surprise. Our 2 weapons.
I fortunately am not here on a definitive purpose as set by the church.
Well, that's good. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Indeed. I am quite thankful that my particular skills haven't been required of the church in some time.
At this point, Arwen is like yanking on Rivallon's arm, like trying to get him out of here.
What?
Like a kid that wants to go home from a
Let's go in outside.
Outside.
I don't want to go to church.
You really don't like this place, do you?
No, not really.
Is there anything else you require of us for your journey?
I look towards the party. Is there...
I don't know, because I'm being taken outside. We'll wait outside.
No. I mean, I don't know what Palor has to offer us. I'm scared. I don't like it. I'm leaving with my dog.
If that is all, I do have business to attend to in my duties. Though we may have need of a representative of Palor from outside the monastery. Where are you staying?
We haven't arranged where we are boarded yet. It's our first day here.
Oh. Well, there are many interesting places in Gorgon to lay your head at night. I hope that you do come back.
I should be back for prayers daily as I'm here. So if you have any need of me, sisters, I am at your service.
If you would like, there is a personal chamber deeper in the monastery.
Eyebrows wiggle.
Only available to those of the faith. It is where the superiors and the high priests pray in the mornings and in the evening. As a member of the church, you are more than welcome to join us.
Isaac, if you want to stay, we'll find a brothel. Don't worry.
I'm with him.
Please say you didn't just shout that in the first church of my religion that I found in probably about a year of traveling.
Hey, you have your
Did
church. We
Did you
have
shout
ours.
that in character?
No.
No,
Even I, as living out in the wild, know of from traveling how important Paylor is to you.
Okay, thank you. Because if so, there would have been some serious daggers, both eyes and maybe
How would you
later.
express it? How would you express it? You have no pupils.
I'd have got it. I'd have got it.
The eye daggers would have been. I fucked him so hard that he surely would have got it. Just from the furrowing of the brows alone, it would have. It could pierce through the plains of existence. No, I say that would be lovely. Actually, what time do you hold morning prayer?
It is at first light, as is tradition. When the first beams of Paylor's light touch the ground is when we pray our respects. And evening prayer is when the last rays of Paylor's light leave the ground that we pay our respects to the day that we just had. I'll have to check with the high priest, but I do believe there may be something that you would be well suited for the church business. I'm not sure of the details right now, but please return for evening prayer.
I will do. Thank you again, sisters. May Paylor's light be with you.
And you too, Inquisitor. And they walk away. And as you walk out of your church, I'm assuming Ustenia is still next to you, so you're walking together out. We'll take the midpoint break for this week, or for this episode.
All right, so we will be back shortly.
Yeah.
It should be noted, my character's been in the closest he's been to a church was once when he was 30.
30 years ago. Or wait,
More than that.
No.
60 years ago.
45 years ago.
45 years ago. I don't know your age off the top of my head.
I'm 100.
Oh, you're 100.
100.
Okay, no, it's more than that. 70
65.
years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, that's easy math.
Yeah.
3 plus 7 is 10.
I was thinking 60 years ago. Yeah.
I thought he was 75 because I thought he was 3 times my age. But no, he's 75 years on me because I'm 25, my character. Very young for an Inquisitor, but hey.
So take a fiver if anybody needs to go use a bio break, anything like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a bio break.
So I've noticed looking at the map of Gorgon, you were saying about how it's taller in the middle.
Yeah.
Does that mean that this little blue thing that looks like a bunch of triangles bunched into a bladed square, is that the splinter sistered with the shard?
There?
Yeah. Is that the splinter sistered with the shard?
No, that's the high point of the city. The highest point of the city is over here.
Missed
no. Yeah. Rivallon walked out just as I was nailing my joke that anyone who's ever been to London will get.
Yeah,
the biggest tower in London is the biggest building in London is called the Shard.
I got that.
It has a very similar footprint.
And Roach, I don't think you have the map of the world up for us.
It should. Do you have a world map and you have a map of the continent?
You can find it yourself. If you go to images and maps, you can find it yourself. Especially like in the new tab.
This one wasn't in there.
Yeah, now it's there. Now
Yeah.
it's second D&D world map version 3. That's there now.
Yeah.
So you got that. I forgot to share that one. Oh, and there's also the world map that hasn't been shared either. Sharing.
Well, I don't think we have the world map because we don't know. But
no, but it's also good just for you guys to like get like an idea of things. Your characters don't have it, but I think that's why I did that. Was so that you guys only knew it.
Well, that's why I was like, the world map makes sense because we're from all different parts of the world.
Well, this is good, so you can also know the various different continents and everybody leaves. Hello there, rival.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
No. That one. There you go. So, what's this map?
No, I just shared a couple of maps that you guys should have had access. So there's a continent map that I didn't have shared, and then there's a world map that I didn't have shared. So now that those were available to you.
Okay, is this the continents or the world?
Which one are you looking at?
I've got Earthstep Kingdoms, Grey Wastes, Rivallon Plains. That's the continent.
That's your continent that you're on.
Oh, okay.
You're currently in the Dwarven Freeholds.
Which is in the Grey Wastes?
No, it's the red one.
Got it. Yeah, got it. Wow, we've got 2 mountain ranges to get across to the areas with the elves, I believe.
Yep.
And then vengeance.
Sorry, I thought you had these, so it's. But yeah, that's also there for names and stuff. So you're from the western side of the continent.
Yes, I knew that because I knew there was a mountain range, at least one mountain range between me and my homelands.
No, yeah, you're from the Atharian Empire, the blue one.
Roche, did you want me to get you like a little write-up of the monastery I was raised in, partially?
Should do if you want to.
Yeah, like
with
like
leave
some
that
of the...
up there, or until if you wanted, but yeah. Sorry, he's back in a bit. He had to drop out for a second.
That's fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, just I'm not back on the podcast on the stream yet. Anyway, like.
Yeah. By the way, Ryan, what are you gonna do? Gothic, Battlefield Gothic.
I don't know yet. I don't know when I'm going to be doing it, mate, because I've got Valkyria, which is taking way longer than I was expecting, and BattleTech. I've still got another 330 odd days to go through that.
Yeah, no kidding. You have like 80 episodes in fucking Valkyria. I'm like 3 in.
55.
50, whatever.
As of today, 55.
Still.
Oh, I'm not disputing. It's huge.
I was like, holy crap.
And those aren't all battles. There's some which are just literally the story in between.
Yeah.
Alright, I was just wondering. I'm looking forward to seeing your playthrough.
Oh no, I'll be doing one. I've been watching yours. I've been watching yours. It's just I'm sitting there thinking, there's no way I'll be able. I mean, they had that slowdown thing, where you could slow down decision making, and I'm like,
well, I mean, it exists here. There's time controls, but there's no quick button for it anymore. There's a pause. There's 3x, 2x, normal, slow, and pause now that you have access to. I don't use it though because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sitting there watching you like kick butt and going, oh my god, I am going to get my ass handed to me.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I get screwed. I don't actually know what episode is on my channel right now, or the last one you watched. But I got pretty fast. I mean, remember Crimson's ship got blown the hell up in one of those episodes. At Closton, lost almost all my lights.
I've just watched the first mission where the solar wave hits, and you were attacking, and it turns out that the Grand Lord Admiral person, Lord High, was a traitor. Well, we apparently was a traitor. We just have the Inquisitors.
I called that shit.
You did.
No, it's so good.
Anytime a game says
he's as old as Spire, and Spire's been in like cryostasis, that he's got to be corrupt. And it's like, oh, turns out Drake's corrupt. Ah, fuck yeah, I did
it. Which game's this?
Battlefleet Gothic 2.
Battlefleet Gothic.
Ah.
I'm doing a playthrough of it. I'm waiting for Rival to do his.
Nice.
I will do it. It'll probably be after whichever one finishes first.
Speaking of Warhammer, do any of you collect the miniatures?
No.
I have them still. Like I have my Imperial Guard and some Space Marines and Tau, but I don't do anything with them anymore.
No.
The prices are super. I mean, it's the
I've still got all of mine, and I have some photos to actually send to Roach now.
Still, finally.
Well, I've been
300.
I've been getting into the Horus Heresy, and I actually found a fantastic third-party 9L Johnson. Now, the original model was made by Kabuki Studio, but there was a recaster in Russia that was selling it, and it came out a lot better than I thought it'd be. Like, a lot better. The resin was great. It wasn't that sort of brittle shit you'd normally expect, the cheap shit. No, this was decent resin. And it was like $12 rather than Kabuki Studios' original price for its limited edition, which was $60. And it actually came out really well. So I've converted him, got him all built up, ready for painting.
Yeah, I just can't get back. I can't back into Warhammer. The prices are so bad. Like
that's where I've started getting price wise.
Yeah, when I got into it, my Imperial Guardsmen, I got 20 figures to a box for $25. Now it's 10 figures for a box for $35.
Yeah, I remember when tactical squads were like 15 quid, and it's like I look at it now, it's like 30 quid. I'm just like, kill me now, please.
It's especially with comparison. Like, I'm looking to get into bolt action proper. Like I do bolt action, which is a World War II miniatures game, but it's it plays like Warhammer a lot.
Yeah.
And in 28mm, but I've currently played in 15mm with Flames of War figures because it's super cheap because you can get you can get the basically equivalent army for like $50 and you have 100 figures because it's Flames of War. But I'm looking to get into bolt action proper, like in 28mm scale, and the prices are amazing. Like you can get like a 30-man plastic box of German Grenadiers for $25, like on Amazon. Like it's $25, $31 if you get it full price. Like you can get it cheaper though in a lot of other places, and like their vehicles, that's the big thing, because all Warhammer vehicles, like every Imperial Guard tank, $45, $50, $60, like shit like that. The most expensive tank you can get for bolt action is a Mouse for $60, but a normal Panzer you can get for $25, like a Panzer III.
That's decent.
Panzer IV, and it's 28mm. It's the same size as so it's the same scale. It's amazing.
So basically like a Predator tank sort of equivalent.
Yeah, and you can get Panzer IV, you can get Tiger 1, Tiger 2s. Like
to be fair, you could probably get those and then convert them to Imperial Guard Death Corps of Krieg.
You could do it for almost anything. You could make Cadians. You can make Cadians. Well, I think Cadians would fit with like an M1 Abrams or something like that for like a Baneblade. Like Because like Imperial Guard tanks are actually stupidly proportioned. Like I think like an Imperial Guard Lehman Russ is like in 28mm, like the size of what is it? Like the size of
It's kind of what happens when you bolt on World War I chassis with late Russian turrets.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't work, but
that's why I always like the Forge World tanks better. I always liked Vindicators, Vanguards.
Not that big. Like Land Raider size.
No, I'm sorry. I don't like the horror. In terms of the Horus Heresy, the armor, great. They've done a great job with like the Space Marine armor and things like that for like the Horus Heresy sets, and most of their gear is really good. I dislike the tanks. I dislike this. We're going to take Rogue Trade and like 2nd edition era tanks, and we're going to produce them in resin and charge you about 5 times the fucking price what a plastic version was.
I mean,
Just because
that's the whole
people
purpose of Horus Heresy, though, is that we're gonna make a game and it's all gonna be in resin, so you have to pay.
Yeah, but my point is no. My point is that they've done a great job of making the old school style armor, but actually like redoing it and making it look great and polished. The tanks and stuff, though, they haven't actually really redesigned anything. They literally just effectively reproduced the old plastic and metal miniatures in resin, and it's like you look at the armors and the individual like infantry models, they've put effort. You look at the tanks, they haven't. They're just saying you old school crap for an extra charge, and it's just like Urgh! That. And I actually kind of like the more like the 4th edition onwards when they updated the Rhinos look, and then it, like eventually upgraded all the tanks back in 4th edition. I actually kind of like that look better than the old school. I'm sorry, I do.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't play it much anymore. But are we good with everybody? Good? Everybody use their?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm good.
I had a miniature heart attack. Thought I left my oven on.
Oh.
Or not my oven, but my stove, because I have an electric stove, and I was making lunch.
Yeah.
Had a miniature heart attack. Was like, oh shit, did I leave that on?
Okay. So we are taking our leave. Yeah. Taking our leave from the temple.
Yeah, you take your leave from the temple. And what are you doing now? What's your plan?
Probably should find somewhere to stay. What
Yeah,
time is it?
It's late afternoon, early afternoon.
Yeah, it's
Lunch.
let's see here. Yeah, after about.
We already had lunch and our, midday booze.
Oh yeah, you guys went in there like
Second lunch.
semi-drunk, didn't you?
No. Atari went in there semi-drunk.
He went in there pissed drunk.
So.
We just had a slight fuzz, and it still wasn't enough.
That's just a normal Sunday. The amount of people that go to church drunk on a Sunday.
So, how was your day? Query eye looking at the party.
Up until now, up until going in there, great. Had an amazing bath, and there's this gorgeous dragonborn girl, and never mind. Anyways. Here we go.
Well,
So, you've been given some information, though, just to make sure you guys didn't miss that. You were given information about somebody who might be able to help you with your current.
and he's in a bar.
Yeah,
Staying at a
but
tavern, yes.
he's in the Narrows, which is, if I remember correctly, the more expensive part of town.
Yes.
Which I don't know if we can
Currently there.
afford.
You're in the Narrows.
We're already in the Narrows, so we might as well
Yes.
try and speak to the man. Maybe get some lunch in the building. You know.
Well, I had a great little meal in the bath.
Fingers.
Okay.
You get finger food.
I'm a halfling, man. I don't eat very much.
That's true. Proportionately, that's almost a meal to him. I get no. Actually, that's wrong. Halflings eat a lot. Have you not
That's
seen
their
any of the Lord
defining
of the Rings?
principle, is that they
Shush.
eat.
Shush.
Hobbits eat a crap load. Second.
Onesies, twosies.
Yeah.
Haters.
But yeah, you were told the location, or you were told the inn that he's staying in.
Yes, the white.
I mean,
Okay,
come
I
on.
can't read my own handwriting.
The white mug.
White
Mug.
mug.
Right. Okay. The N has combined with the U, so it looks like NVY. I was like, Christ, this is in Russian. The mug, the white mug.
Yeah, the white mug. So you were told that, and yeah. So what's your?
I guess we'll go try and find him.
This Bosch character.
Bosch.
This Bosch character.
Actually, are any of you guys Teutonian or been to Teutonia? Actually, all of us have been to Teutonia. That's where our boat left from.
That's where your boat left from. Well, now, depending on how long you stayed there, is up to you guys.
Would any of us know if Bosch is the correct way to say it?
I mean, I probably would have spent some. I spent. I
Some time
spent
traveling. It takes
70 years traveling.
Yeah, you've
Something
been
like
to
that.
Teutonia. Teutonia is one of those up-and-coming places. It's got a lot of things to it, so you've been around.
It's like Hull.
Yeah, so you know that that's not necessarily Bosch is not necessarily the way it's pronounced, but it's very hard to pronounce Teutonian without knowing how to speak.
It's close enough.
And in this world, everybody that's listening to Teutonian is essentially just German. It's that culture.
Okay. And common is English.
Yeah.
Got it. I see who won the World War in this.
And technically, that would mean
Wait, does that mean like?
Because they control most of the world.
So
Does that mean-
everyone speaks drunk Scottish? Is that?
Wait, does that make halfling French?
Actually, that would be
No, it would be just like Elvish is French. We
in
decided
my-
that.
in
Oh,
the
no.
way that
I
make
would have thought
everything is-
halfling would be more like Dutch.
It is.
You know, it's sort of like
Oh,
you think of
okay.
like the Moot from Warhammer Fantasy. You know, they're sort of like they're like the Dutch, those weird, freakish,
Just with the height
democratic type.
just with the
height reversal.
Empire of electors.
If you guys take a look at the world map, like the overall world map, which you all now have access to, because apparently there was a lot of world maps I didn't share with you guys.
Yeah.
You can read the names of the capital city or the major cities in the Rawl, and you can tell which culture kind of makes up that area, mostly, from that. So to give you an idea of what that is, so like very what's the word? Very French inspired on the Elvish coast or the First Kingdoms. Then it intermixes in the northern bit, so you got a lot of like Dutch, Belgian, Benelux kind of names. And yeah, there's some stuff kind of around, and then also obviously some Middle Eastern inspired in the Grey Wastes, that kind of stuff. So for point of reference there. But you're you're heading towards the White Mug, is what you're.
We're gonna try and find it. Yeah.
Gonna try and find it. Okay. Are you just trying to find it out of the blue, or are you actively looking for it with like asking people?
I'll ask.
Okay.
Oh, that's annoying. The nation I'm from doesn't have a capital.
Yeah, the Cardinal Empire's not that big. It's really not big. It's a lot of ice, a lot of forest, not a lot of people up there. So
like Upper Alaska.
yeah, pretty limited up there in terms of population, but it doesn't take you long if you're asking to find the White Mug, because it's well known to most people around. So when you're guided, doesn't take you too long, and you find what looks to be a 2-story building of stone walls with all of the metalwork on the doors, like the bits that go across to keep all the wood together, like looks to be finely decorated and looks to be elven make in terms of its designs. A lot of swirls and swooshes and leaf patterns and very that kind of stuff around it. And when you enter, it looks to be the same for the tables and chairs, but this time of wood. So very elven wrought tables and chairs, and just kind of brightly lit with magical candles. So like a single candle is lighting up like a corner of the whole room. Like it's very bright. So it's obviously been enchanted or of some type, but it is not dank in here. It's like a lot of good atmosphere. You can smell really nice food. There's enough room here that nobody's like bunched up either. Like it's really nice in here. Like it's a far cry from some of the places you've stayed lately. And there's a bar off in the corner of the room that has a lot of stools, and people are drinking, and there's a low murmur across the whole tavern.
I think this place might be a bit rich for our blood.
Hmm.
And you do see an individual. You see a couple of individuals behind the bar, actively like getting food and drink, and going out from behind the bar to a table, putting stuff down. All this kind of. You see a couple of girls, various different species, working. A couple of dwarves, etc. And you do see one individual who looks to be giving orders to people. A tall, elvish man. Who's wearing nice clothes, short hair with short brown hair, no facial hair at all. He seems to be either the manager or an owner. You're not sure, but that's what you see right there. And obviously, maybe about 10 or 20 people actually drinking and enjoying themselves.
Considering I tend to aggravate bar folk by not ordering alcohol, would one of you like to take the lead on looking for this gentleman?
Sure. I'll walk up to the bar, climb up on the stool.
It's not hard. I mean, it's made for dwarves, so it's just kind of.
Oh, right. I was thinking, see an elf. Tall things. Okay.
I mean, the bar level is a normal bar level, but the stools are made to get up on.
Oh, yeah.
Easier. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it afternoon? Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's
I'm just gonna.
Like 4 or 5.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So what are you doing?
I'm gonna try and get either the manager's eye or whoever's working behind the bar. And if I can't get the manager's eye, preferably one of the girls, if there's a girl working behind the bar.
There is a girl working behind the bar. There is a human woman working behind the bar, who seems to be wearing like just a normal shirt and an apron. Sleeves are rolled up, and she seems to be mixing the drinks and pouring them for everybody. It's got like braids in kind of like a dwarvish braid design over long hair. But she's working the bar, and when she finally pays attention to you, goes, "Anything for you?"
Yeah, I'd like a mug of ale. Do you have it?
All right. Any specific kind?
Yeah, I'm new to the area, just trying things out.
Get you the usual then. She pours your mug, brings it down. Looks to just be normal ale, nothing special.
Yeah. Also, I'm looking for a gentleman by the name of Friedrich Bosch. He's a scholarly-looking gentleman.
Titonian?
First thing, silver.
Right, yep. Hand over.
That into a drawer underneath the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean Freddy? Looks over the shoulder of one patron at the bar. Yeah, he's the spindly looking gent over there in the table by himself. Points over. When you look over, you see this human male who's got like a mid-length beard, like heavy salt and pepper, just, like not taken care of a lot. Kind of like mid-length hair that's combed back, kind of greasy.
You describing me again?
No, it's a longer beard than yours. Longer beard.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's the one distinguishing. That's the one feature.
Hey, if anybody has greasy hair, it's me. Okay, it doesn't show up a lot on the camera. But I have pretty greasy hair.
Yeah, I tend to get a lot as well because of work.
But and also wearing
You say wearing glasses, I'm gonna kill you.
No, he doesn't have any glasses. Wearing traveling clothes with some patches on like the bits that rub with the elbows, and kind of one of the shoulders is basically stitched up. But he's got a stack of papers and some books that are laid out on the table. Probably why he's alone right now, and a quill and ink. And he's every couple of seconds he's taking a sip of whatever he's drinking, putting it down, then writing something else down on a piece of paper. Sits back for a second, scratches that out, another drink, writes something down before he gets scratched out. Like,
This sounds eerily familiar. It's like I know a person who does that in our party.
Shut up.
seems to be paying attention to whatever he's writing down and working on right there.
Oh, that's nothing like the guy we know.
Absent-mindedly drinking just because it's something on the table.
Randomly turns around and says things like, "Have you heard of the Hayes?"
Thank you, madam. And then I'm gonna get down and go rejoin my friends with my one tankard of ale.
As soon as you got another patron, I got you to feed.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't try. No. Yeah, didn't try this with this one.
Who are you? What have you done with Arwen?
Not my type. Not big enough. Anyways,
So yeah.
It's the gentleman sitting by himself with the books and the papers. Straggly beard, greasy hair, traveling clothes.
In hindsight, probably was a good bet.
Yeah,
you all look
probably.
Over. You all look over everyone else's. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, shall we? Takes a sip.
Indeed.
I don't know if this was worth a silver.
It wasn't. You've had better. It's obvious. This is markup.
Yeah.
This is rich. This is a rich person bar.
Yep. Here, one of you two can have this. I don't want it.
I'll take it. I'll take 3 drinks.
Here you go.
Better too. You've had better too, but you're still you don't care.
But you got it for free.
I don't care.
So
You got it for free. And you're still half drunk.
Oh yeah.
You drank elven wine like within the last couple of hours. You're still
Cooking wine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
basically.
basically.
Wine.
Fuck it if I care.
Fucking 90% proof shit. It's like
Uses to cauterize wounds.
All right, shall we?
It makes a good paint stripper. All right, so
It's literally licking anesthetic off the bottle.
So who's initiating? What are you guys doing exactly? Like, who's initiating, or what are you doing?
I say we send our biggest person and the most knowledgeable about what we're trying to find.
Isaac, you're up.
Are we not going to give him the wrong impression by the fact that I'm wearing a Palorian tabard?
Ah, damn it.
Yes, but
Don't you have any other clothes?
Let's break this down, okay? We've either
Why
got
would I need other clothes?
the 6-foot knowledgeable person with no eyes that really puts people off just by the fact he's standing there with no eyes. We've got the tiny little halfling person who will probably end up breaking into song at a moment's notice. We've got a drunk barbarian and a guy who will probably stab him if he just says the wrong thing to me. So,
is there any music playing? Is there any entertainment?
Yeah, there is. There's a.
Damn it.
There's a.
Go upstage.
Go upstage.
An individual looks like a half elf who's playing a string instrument, violin, essentially.
Do I know the tune?
Yes, you do. It's not something you usually play, because it's very upper class.
Wrong genre.
It's very
Right.
This is like dinner music that's being played right now. It's just like very slow, very monotonous thing. Probably gets paid 3 times you do doing half
Probably.
the work.
Is he like, wait, just real quick, is he like on a raised platform of any kind, or is he just?
There's like a stage that they're on the side. It's actually like a proper like stage in the wall.
Oh wow.
So there's
Fancy
it's like-
bastards.
yeah, and you can tell that this is probably an intermediate act. Like the curtains are closed. He's in front of the curtains, and you can kind of hear things behind him, like being moved around.
It's gonna be changing the set. Like,
I'm gonna go join him with my lyre and just kind of match his tune. But not like go up on stage with him, just kind of like off in a corner.
perch on the.
Just kind of.
By yourself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Just very lightly.
Give me a
Like, I'm not trying to upstage him.
Yeah, no, give me a performance check.
I'm just trying to help him out because he's the intermediate act, and I can tell this. That's not what skills. Performance.
Performance.
Well,
oh
shit.
wow!
It's still a 10. It's still average.
It's still sad, but it's a 2.
You do okay. He's better.
Well, yeah.
You rolled a 20.
Mm.
He's a lot better than you. It's noticeable. As soon as you start playing, you're just like, oh.
Yeah. I don't play this song very often.
You get it. You're going through. People are like, they hear it, look over towards you. Some of them. Or some people,
Damn it.
people are drinking, looking towards you. Their heads disapprovingly. Others, like a woman who's eating. It's like,
Isaac, hurry up. Let's get out of this place.
Okay, I'm gonna go introduce myself to the gentleman that.
And I'm gonna leave.
don't
Frederick.
say, don't
So,
say I'm going to do that. Do it in your character.
And then I'm gonna leave.
Well, it would be a bit weird if I just went hello and.
No, it's just say I'm walking up to the gentleman or something like
I'm
that.
I'm walking to the gentleman and I'm going to stand next to his table, not take a seat. I'm also going to gesture for the rest of the party.
At the table, there's one chair at the table he is sitting at. There's no.
Oh, okay. I'm also going to gesture to the rest of the party to follow.
You. Assume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
You play about a little bit of the song and then going like, oh, this isn't going well. I'm going.
Fuck
I'm
you
out.
guys, I'm going home.
I'm gonna go look for three things.
Okay.
Other places to stay that are more affordable.
Right.
I'm gonna see if there's like a message board or like a job board,
Okay.
and somewhere where I can find some companionship.
Okay.
Okay, so he's looking for bedding.
Beds, broads, and jobs.
Yes, basically.
Beds, broads, and boards.
No, beds, broads, and jobs. That's what it is. It rhymes.
Maybe different
BBJ.
kinds of jobs. Oh, B's and J's. B's, J's, and BJ's.
I'll try to keep this classy, but apparently not.
Doesn't matter. So,
Not in an episode of the D Team.
Yeah. So, go ahead. How are you doing this?
Greetings, sir. My name is Isaac. Some of the sisters at the.
Writes down something. Yes.
Some of the sisters at the Temple of Palor pointed me towards you. You might be
They
able
come
to.
to their senses. They're letting me in.
No.
Unfortunately, not. It's still church policy, but you might be able to be. You might be able to help us. We have something that might interest your intellect.
Looks you up and down. Takes a while. What do you have?
I unrolled the piece of parchment. We found this on a creature in an underground temple that was being excavated. We understand that it's in Undercommon, and we wondered if you would be able to help us with a translation.
This it? Brent takes it from you. Looks at it. Seems to be reading it to himself.
Even before recipe for breakfast.
Yes, what have it? Oh, do you... Oh. I could help. I could read it. But you might be able to help me.
Go on.
You see, I'm writing a paper about the history of the magic in Rivallon and the world during the Age of Fire and the Dawn Age. Currently, I have a bit of a bottleneck when it comes to my ability to...
You want me to get you into the library?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay.
The Palorian library is good because it has certain records of things going far as back as 500 to 600 years. But the library for Gorgon itself is, by law and mandate, 100% of the records that have been accrued during the entirety of the city's existence from its first incorporation almost 1,527 years ago.
There's another library.
Yeah, we
This
know there's another one that we
library-
can get into.
This library is restricted to individuals of standing or members of the government of Gorgon itself. Normally petitionable for scholarly activities or individuals for research or record keeping. I unfortunately may happen to know the individual who is in charge of this library, and we may not 100% see eye to eye because he was wrong, and I wrote a counter to one of his papers about 20 years ago, and he may not have taken it well.
Right.
And I cannot get into the library because of this. I would be in the debt of anyone who could get me into this library.
Do you want us to kill him? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. My friend
Looks
here
looks at all of you in a different light immediately.
My friend here struggles to find the more humane way of doing things.
I'm an elf. I'm not human. That's why.
Exactly.
I just want to get into the library.
Okay.
So we just go ask this guy. We go, hey, you flash your inquisitorial powers. You say to him, let this person back in.
He says, no,
I
kill
fear
him.
it won't. I fear it's not as.
How you get me in? Preface: don't kill him. Looks at you.
It's the easiest way.
Let's not go all chaotic stupid here.
Get you in library, kill person, stop you. Law comes because you killed him, kill law.
You'll say big gate in the way.
Story?
Big gate in the way. Big gate, not stop who's down here.
Hey, I'm not the one who suggested murder hoovering our way into a fucking library. I actually recommended a sensible course of action.
I just want to get into the library. If you can help me with this, that would be incredibly
helpful.
Help, yes. To be redundant, yes. That would be we were done. Yes. Sits down.
Do you have any suggestions of how we might go about it?
No.
That's our problem.
I, however, do have an idea.
I could.
Whether it'll work, I do not know.
How about I sweeten the deal slightly to give you a bit of a kick for this? I've read this already. This is like touching the scroll, the piece of paper. It's very straightforward. It's a mentioning of the rededication of some temple to from a previous god of which I have absolutely no idea what the hell it is. But to a god I actually do know of, that is not common. I could share this with you, the details of this god, if you get me into the library. How about this?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
A massive alert just went off on my channel.
Okay. If you... This document is very mundane. It just details the process in which they were going to rededicate a holy site from one god to another. That is the entirety of its contents. Also some things here about masking the outputs of a mine. Like this, I'm not sure. Either way, this doesn't tell you anything about the rededicated gods. I know of it. I can inform you of it. I study magic and ancient mythology and tales and gods and the divine. I can inform you of this.
Okay. That's...
I don't want to I want to give you a good deal, because this is going to be probably difficult. He's a bit of a bastard, the head librarian. So the document itself is very mundane. It's not worth it. But what I know of this god, possibly is.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm not sure what you actually need it for.
I have one more question in coherence with that, which might help you with the sort of information we're looking for.
Okay.
Damn it. I've just realized the halfling's not here. You have the drawing of the symbol.
Mm-mm.
Oh, who has it? Who has the drawing of the symbol? You've got the drawing of the symbol.
It's my symbol. It's I'm the one
Oh
who
yeah,
saw
of
it.
course.
I just looked at it.
Rivallon, would you mind sharing the image of that symbol you saw?
I hand over the piece of paper.
Does this relate?
Yeah.
As I expected. Okay. We'll do it. We'll try our best to get you in. Will you be staying here?
Yes, I'm paid up for the next... What's today? It's a week, 2, I'm not sure. It's still morning, right?
No.
No, it is currently...
Late afternoon.
Late afternoon.
Oh, no wonder I'm hungry.
Favorite character ever.
Is that all? Now that I realize that, we should probably have breakfast. I guess maybe dinner. No, no. Yeah, evening meal.
It would be early dinner, yes.
Yes. Yeah. That would probably be
We'll
good.
let you get on with that, and we'll come back to you if we get anywhere. Do you mind if we have that back? The notes we've handed you.
Yeah. Rolls it up, gives you both of them.
Thank you for your time.
And I just come to me whenever you have any information about this situation. Smiles slightly, then turns back to what he was working on. And you see him go, starts writing down. Crosses off a little bit of it. And doesn't seem to go up to get anything to eat. As he goes back into what he's doing. So yeah.
Okay. How long is it until last light or evening prayer? Would I estimate?
Here, with what that just took, you have about an hour.
Okay.
About an hour before, last light. Give or take.
Okay. Ustinia and Rivallon.
Yes.
Yes.
I need you to, one, find where the halfling went, and two, start investigating the possibilities of gaining access to the library. Even just for us, if we can gain access ourselves, it may be one way that we could then crowbar the gentleman in with us. I also have another matter to attend to at the temple. They invited me for prayer, and they said that the high priest might have something for us, which I want to hear out. And my thinking is, if we do something for the church, maybe they might have some leverage into getting us and the gentleman into the library. But I think we need more information. It's getting close to the time where I need to go and do religious things, so I don't want to bore you with that. One, you wouldn't be allowed in where I am, but you get me. So if you guys go ahead with that, I'll go do the churchy thing, okay?
The churchy.
I'm dumbing this down because you two are heavily drunk.
I'm not heavily drunk. It was
No,
Elvin's
he's not.
cooking wine.
Okay.
I'm fine. I just want to kill somebody.
As far as I can assume from the outbursts of killing people multiple times today,
He
you are
said
both heavily
he
drunk.
needed us to get this guy out of the way so he could use the library. Okay? It was only this guy. The quickest way is to take him out of the equation.
Not in my book. But yes, if you go do that, maybe also maybe try and find out what our friend over here did, because knowing what he did, or how he undercut the gentleman at the library might help us either go around him or work things out otherwise, if that makes sense. But yes, find the halfling. He said he was going to find us with bed and board, and then
I didn't tell you anything.
No, he didn't.
oh, did he not?
No,
Nope, I just left.
Fine. Just try and find the halfling.
halfling before something happens.
Find the halfling.
Reach back on the menu, boys.
Scumbag tried to knife me.
What about his legs? He don't need those.
Sometimes I forget you're an actor, Mitch.
How do you forget?
Yeah, that is true. I saw your headshots at one point.
That is permanently ingrained into my retinas.
Oh, my
that
old
headshot.
headshots? My
Yeah.
Steve Jobs Midge with the fucking.
Yeah, that was my joke director headshot. That was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Oh yeah, joke.
No, it was a joke in the program between me and my AD. We wanted to go for the most pretentious photo we could come up with.
You nailed it.
Wow.
I know.
No, seriously, if he ever share that at one point in this chat, because they're fucking amazing.
Yeah, I will do.
So while that's all going on, Arwan, what were the what were the three things you were trying? You were trying to find a room. You're trying for a room board for
somewhere to stay for everybody.
Okay.
That is
So,
relatively cheap.
Okay, so while that's happening, I'm going to say that took about maybe 20-30 minutes of the conversation. Actually, no, because you would have had to read and go through some stuff. Yeah, you've got some time. So, are you just asking for, like what's the best places to stay? Like, you asking, like, a random person, or what's the...
I'd like to try and find, like, a guard.
A guard? Okay, there are plenty. Like, especially, you're in the Narrows. Like, the White Monk's in the Narrows, and, like, the Narrows is patrolled.
Right,
actively.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So, yeah, you see a couple of guardsmen who are just, like, walking along one of the narrow streets, hence Narrows.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you wave them down, doesn't look like they're... It's the cops in a nice part of town, like a nice neighborhood. Yeah. Like they're going, oh, hello, Mrs. Johnson. It's not like you wave down somebody in like South Detroit, and it's just like, get the fuck on the ground.
Yeah,
they're okay. The hearts and minds here, because people here have money.
Yeah.
So yeah, they stop. Yeah, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for somewhere for me and my companions to stay that is a bit more affordable than...
Oh, as you're saying to stay, they like look over you for a second and they look at the white... One's about ready to point at it and goes, oh,
yeah, that place is a bit rich for our blood.
Affordable?
You know, like, at most a silver or two a night.
Well, there's a couple of places. Just if you're looking for real cheap, out in the broad streets, there's the Old Trick. That one's... It's okay. It's a roof.
Yeah.
It's a roof.
Step up.
If you go to the Goldwaters district, the docking area, you got the Broken Mast.
Step up.
That one's usually pretty good. That's where most of the sailors and crewmen stay. And
we don't want to get him any more drunk.
I've stayed there a few times. The other one's like, I've stayed there a few times. It's all right.
Yeah. Sailors.
Wait, was it the Lost or Last Trick?
The Old Trick is the
Old
one in
Trick.
Broad Street. The Old Trick, and then you have the Broken Mast.
Broken Mast.
Perfect, thank you. Also, where would one go? Is there anywhere to find some companionship in this city?
Looking at each other. You know,
Never mind.
Guards, right?
Exactly, you moron.
Is prostitution illegal in this?
I don't know if it's illegal. I'm not from around here.
You don't know if it is or not. You haven't seen any.
I understand. I'm from a different part of the country. Never mind.
Officers, we're actually not together. He's on his own.
Violating the law.
Right.
Pay the fine.
All right. Is there a job board in town?
There's a few. Depends on what you're looking for. You go to the Goldwaters district. There's a job board near the first dockyard. You're looking for places to... They always need somebody to unload ships or help with the repairs of one of the company trade barges. So they always need hands there, and they can't get anyone for a really long time there. It's back-breaking labor.
So really not halfling kind of work.
There's one near the between the Null Rack and the Salt Exchange, the thoroughfare between there. You'll see the trade board, and they always hire people for the trade caravans or to help unload the sky ships or to move things around or to different stalls. That's always pretty active there at the trade board. Other than that, I'm not sure. What about you, Dimmy? Oh, up near the bastion, there's currently an opening for some new faces in the guard group. We're looking for that. If you're looking for long-term work and you're of good standing, could help there. You have to go to the bastion, and you go to the right before you get into the actual bastion itself, and you'll see a recruiting board there, and one of the sergeants is talking there. Pay's good, and it's not too bad if you're assigned pretty much anywhere but the broad streets. And it's it's the broad streets.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time, gentlemen. Gotta get on Barry and ride away.
I'm gonna watch this go. So you were told 2 locations.
Yep.
For other ones, you got the Broken Mast and the Old Trick in town.
Is there any way I can hit the job boards on the way to check out the 2 taverns?
Yes, actually, you would pass the trade board to get to the Broken Mast, and then from the Broken Mast, you would be nearby the board near the Golden Waters.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, so basically, to get to the Broken Mast, you have to pass one. When you're near the Broken Mast, you get another job board, and then you go to the Old Trick.
Okay, yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, you ride down, and yeah, you get close. I don't actually think any of you have been to the markets so far in the. All of you have stayed away from me, straight away from me. Never went to them. So you actually have to pass through the salt exchange, which there's signs saying like this way the salt exchange and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen it. When you get there, there's actually no salt there. You think that's just a name? This seems to be like just a normal trade. Like there's bazaars, stalls with a lot of things displayed on it. Pretty mundane stuff, nothing too fancy, but like seems to be the main trade exchange. And it's this one here that you're in the X right there.
Okay.
And when you pass through it, and you're following it from the directions he gave, it's the thoroughfare between the Null Rack and the Salt Exchange. So this little thoroughfare right here is what you're going through. So you head down that thoroughfare, and you see midway down a very large board, maybe about twice as wide as a man is tall, of just of things put up there. Like you've got advertisements for people's wares at the Salt Exchange. You've got notices of like new coming to the Null Rack. Tabaxian silk. Or Tabaxi silk and elven wrought chairs coming next week. That kind of advertising. Did you see a couple of job postings at the bottom? Look to be freshly put up there. You got like need a guard for transfer of goods from Broad Streets to Null Rack. Need hands to unload Skyship Aquilon. But the date is wrong, or it looks wrong, because it's supposed to it's listing like 3 days before today, and it was supposed to be unloaded, but there's like a little cross mark there. It says soon underneath. So like stuff like that. Like it's odd jobs. It's like need help here, or need somebody to move this, or guard this, or
It was from the Null Rack to what?
Which one specifically?
The guard
move stuff.
No, the guard
stuff. Yeah, guard stuff. It's guard things that are being moved from the Broad Streets to the Null.
Okay.
Or through the Broad Streets to the Null. That's all there's there. It's like it's listing an area just north of the city that means things need to be moved, and it's got to go through the big part of the Broad Streets. So they want somebody to guard it as it goes through the bad part of town.
Yep.
And that's all you really get from
Whitechapel.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything adventure-wise or anything like that. Pretty mundane stuff.
Yeah.
So you continue on, then you just keep going to the next
Yeah, I'm gonna write down the guard, like the job for the details for the guard job.
Okay, you do. And as you you have to go continue on this thoroughfare to the Null Rack, and when you get there, it's at the base of the Sky Tower. So when you look up, like this thing is, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I think what did I say? The Sky Tower, or what is it written down? The Sky Tower is
Like
like
160.
oh no, it's much taller than that.
No, like meters or yards or something like that.
Yeah, it's I have
300 feet, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's like
300 feet.
I have it written down. It's
100 yards.
So many notes.
Huge.
300 feet tall. 300 feet
Hey,
tall.
I
It's got
remembered.
300 feet tall with several docking arms, 7 docking
Yeah.
arms stretching out in various different things. And yeah, you look up and you can see it. You can see actually, like I said, near the top, you can see a couple of like what look to be like yacht kind of sky ships up there, like not transports. But the null rack. So the first thing that hits you, just smell, and it smells beautiful. Like you're smelling spices and things from way far out, like saffron, and cinnamon, and just all these various different things. That it smells like the world in terms of cuisine and stuff. There are people actually, there are carts off to the side, like offering food and things, like not necessarily in the null rack because they might not be allowed there, but they're close enough that they're adjacent to it. Like people are offering food, and you've got like really nice things being put out on stalls. That it's getting close to the point where people are putting things away, but you can see like really nice rugs and silks and clothes and even some weapon stalls too. Like there's a lot of really nice things here, and you can tell this is the good trading square for people. Probably because it's directly underneath the sky, so everything just keeps getting brought down from the ships. But you pass through, I'm assuming, unless you stopped anywhere.
Yeah, no,
you pass through. You head on down through the Goldwaters district, which is the coastal like dockyard thing, and now you're into a lot of different, warehouses, that kind of stuff. Smells of the salt and sea, and you got wind coming from the edge of the shoreline. But you get a couple of directions to guide you, and you're at the Broken Mast. Broken Mast, from what you can see, looks to be a small, like stony, like a two-story brick building, and all the windows are rounded. Like there's no square. It's like it looks to be like maybe porthole kind of, like using components for portholes, but just putting them onto a building, kind of like recycling that. And yeah, it looks to be well active. You can see a lot of shadows playing across the windows and stuff like that, and you can hear some rowdy voices coming in from inside.
I'm gonna pass it and continue on to the other job board.
Okay, you get there. Essentially, all you can find there is there's a couple of things for manual labor for a ship that's being refitted in dry dock right now. There's a couple of things about needed guards for ships that are going to Rapkus or the Sakesh Isles, that kind of stuff. Like just like long-term thing. Like it would take a couple of weeks to months of this job, stuff like that. Generally, there's also a couple of notices of like if you've seen this person, please inform their local guard post, like that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna keep a note of those. The notices.
Okay, yeah, it's nothing too like somebody was caught stealing etc. from the null rack, or stealing something from the salt exchange, like petty theft and stuff like that. No murderers. But it just describes a couple of pretty average looking people, like look for average sized, look for male dwarf, average height, average build, light skin, black hair, and that's like it's kind of is.
It's everybody. Okay.
Narrows that one down.
Yeah, probably why they're still there.
Probably.
You can, when you look at it, you kind of like grab a piece of paper breaks off, and you can tell, oh, it's been in the sea wind for a while. It's
yeah. All right.
It's gotten wet and dried off quite a bit, because of that. So you got that. I'm just gonna. Do you want to continue on to the old trick, or are you just gonna stay at the Broken Mast, or what are you doing?
No, I'm gonna go to the Temple of Palor because I'm guessing it's getting close to like evening.
Yeah, at about this time, it would be. Yeah. So.
I'm just gonna head to the Temple of Palor, staying outside of it.
You do. So you start heading there. Ustenia and Rivallon, what are you doing during this time?
Can I find out if I've sobered up by this point?
Give me a Constitution check. Advantage.
Dear God, please, I'm sobered up.
Oh, I forgot to hit. I forgot to hit the advantage.
Oh, it's not.
No.
Try again.
That was a 3 and a 4, ladies and gentlemen, by the way.
3 and a 4.
3 and a 4.
Which
Your DC was, by the way, 8.
Yeah.
Oh, you just missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm pissed
not
as
drunk.
fuck.
You're not drunk.
Oh.
You're heavy. You're because it's been a while. You were eating and you've been active today. Like this is like we're looking over a lot of moving around and walking and stuff like that because you guys are doing that a lot. So you're no longer heavily drunk. You're just like you're tipsy. You're like
you're
heavily
merry.
Tipsy. Like you're at the
no, I'm at that point. Like if anyone's had a hard session, that towards the end of the night, as you are sobering up, but you get home and you're not feeling great.
It's that moment where you don't know whether to have another beer or water. You're kind of like,
yeah.
You're at that point right now. You're at that point, kind of. So you're
where you're questioning if the kebab will sit in your stomach or not.
Yeah.
Like you really want it, but you also really don't.
I've been there a few times. I've been there a few times.
So that's your current status, Ustenia. So what are you doing?
We've been tasked with a mission of great import, and I'm not in any capacity to help. So I'm kind of just going along and sort of like whatever. I just want to go sleep.
Ustenia, roll a perception check.
Please.
Where is it?
Oh, great! You're leaving the murder hobo like ready.
21.
Okay, you may be like really tipsy right now, but like you're walking along the Narrows, and you're just on the edge of the Narrows now, going into the Silt Sands district, the like merchant / markets area.
Yeah.
And you can see like ahead, like you like eagle-eye vision down past the crowd, and you can see somebody who's next to a cart. It looks to be a halfling.
I meant to joke though.
That is, you can see steam rising off of what looks to be like a mini hearth inside the cart that's like got some flames going in it, and you can see slowly turning a big thing of meat and some like flatbread.
Oh my god!
You see a kebab stand.
Kebab stand. I'm going. I'm all over
You can
that.
smell the garlic sauce just like off in the distance.
Oh.
Through everything,
Should I?
it just
Shouldn't
walks
I?
in there.
Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I?
Yeah, he does the whole.
No,
right, is it
maybe.
kebab time or not?
And he looks down at Rivallon, and Rivallon's just going.
Let's see. Is it kebab? It's kebab time. Yes, hello, halfling. They'll have one of your kebab. They're very, very hungry.
Are you sure about this, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking I want kebab. I get kebab.
You want it with the works?
Look, I'm not worried about the kebab. I'm worried about the state of the floor after the kebab.
All right. And you see him. He cuts off like good stretches of meat and puts it on like a flat bread. And it's like this flat bread he's got. You can see he's got this like kind of oily, garlicky smelling sauce that's squirted over it. There's a couple of like greens that are they're tossed on top, and it's rolled up. And it's like a little bit of parchment that's put around it. And as soon as the parchment hits it and it wraps around, the parchment becomes translucent from the grease, and he gives it over to you.
Oh god, that reminds me of a kebab shop we had in my unit.
2 coppers.
2 coppers. I throw him some coppers. It's probably more than 2 coppers. I'm gonna do a random random roll.
Yeah, roll.
Because I'm still.
No, you didn't do.
Oh, it's exactly 2 coppers. Thank goodness.
You count it for a second. You hand it over, and yeah, you have a. It's like, it's piping hot. The flatbread's like it's fluffy, and you can smell the spice, the garlicky spice coming off of that sauce and meat.
God.
And when you bite into it, to your brain, to your senses, it tastes like heaven. Right.
Oh.
We had a kebab shop in my uni town, and you know it was a
roll a perception check.
I don't particularly want to roll a perception check. I'm terrified.
You know it was a good kebab shop by the fact that when it finally got its UK hygiene rating, so in the UK they
Finally.
on a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on a going
Finally
back,
got that 3 stars.
It was
18.
nicely amber in the middle, so it was kind of like okay on the hygiene.
It's okay. Rivallon, when you look at the thing he's eating right now, that does not look appetizing at all.
No.
That bread is not made properly.
Nope.
Those greens should not be that green, and that meat. Actually, the meat looks all right. They don't skimp on the meat, but everything else.
like a kebab should be.
Exactly.
That meat looks okay if it wasn't still kicking.
But yeah, and as soon as Stinny is off to the side, the guy goes right back to it. Hey, get the kebab! Get in here! Like starts, like people are just like, yeah. But that's what you find.
This is what fancy worlds are like. Okay?
So yeah, you have a kebab, you're eating it, you're chomping on it now.
You're slowly sobering up because of it.
Slightly pissed.
Actually, yeah, it is helping you a little bit. Getting something in your stomach, because you haven't eaten anything today other than what you had with your... Actually, you didn't eat anything, because you didn't eat any of the finger foods, did you?
No, he didn't.
No.
Yeah, you had breakfast
I was
this
too
morning,
drunk.
and you had breakfast this morning, and you had half a thing of cooking wine. That's been your day. So you're having a kebab. An empty stomach. So it's helping a lot, actually.
Lydia, Christ.
Oh god, poor Steve.
Cynia life goals.
It tastes just like home.
Oh god.
So yeah, it's actually helped you a little bit. You're a little bit more coherent. You're from like really tipsy to you can.
You're
handle it.
buzzed.
You're buzzed. You're a little buzzed. You're better. So.
I'm getting there.
You're getting there. It still tastes awesome to you though. You haven't
Yeah.
This is good.
Until about
it's
half
so
an hour
bad.
after you've eaten it, and then you realise, why the hell am I drinking oil still?
Isn't that the best part?
All right.
Left afterwards, it's just like.
All right.
Yeah. So what are you guys doing now?
Well,
now
I'm
that-
going to go and find a
well,
street
well-
corner to vomit into.
Well, I'm actually role playing this. Since I'm in this like now tipsy state, and I'm starting to feel more human. I've got one of those terrible situations where I have an idea.
Oh,
and you know what I mean by an idea.
Yes.
When you get to that buzzed phase and
Everything
your
is a good
feels like
idea.
the best idea in the whole wide world, I'm going to the fucking library. I'm going direct. I'm asking for directions and I'm going there.
Okay, you stop a guard. Actually, no, hold on. Roll a d20. Roll a d20.
17.
17.
Okay, you stop a random citizen instead of a guard, and you're still like, yeah, you're buzzed. So you can tell. You're in front of this dwarvish woman who's like.
I
got
can
a
smell the
bag.
cooking wine on the breath.
She's got a bag of groceries that she's carrying. And she's like, hold on, madam.
Madam, wait, you there. Wait, please. I'm not begging, please, just stop.
Yes.
I don't want your change. I ask question.
Ask away.
I'm looking for the library, the city library. Do you know which way?
She does a double take for a second. She's like, wait, huh? Looks at you for a second.
Yes, I
come up there.
library.
I'll come up to Mando and just, we're looking for the library. He's trying to do his lineage, and apparently the library has details on it. So I'm very sorry. He's just very excited to be in the town that he's been looking for his entire life.
Yes.
The whole library just starts going sick. She does. Hold on. Doesn't believe you for a second. She rolled a 19 on that check. She didn't fucking believe you at all. The whole library, you have the city admin buildings down towards the silt sands. She guides you through it. It's not open at this time.
Oh, we don't need to be open. We just need to know where it was so we can go to it tomorrow morning. And he just wanted to know, so.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Walks away a little quicker than she was walking before. Just like
Job done. We know where the library is.
Step 1 complete.
Step 1 in plan of murdering. I mean, a convincing man of letting our friend into the library. Complete. We now know where the library is.
I'm now going to go to said library.
We're gonna camp outside.
I'm going to the library.
Okay.
Has anyone seen Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny?
No.
Yes.
Not in a while. It's been a long time.
You know the song where that Jack Black has when he breaks into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
This feels like Justinian's version of that.
How did you know? Fuck.
So you head down following the directions. Give me an intelligence check.
Intelligence. Well, both of us.
If you're helping, yeah. But if you're helping, then I'll give Ustenia a flat roll because he was going to be a disadvantage for this.
Go for a flat roll.
Yeah. Intelligence. Where is it? 9.
Oh, you have a flat. You have no modifier on that. You take a wrong turn a couple of times, but Rivallon helps you get back to the main path, and you suss out your way. It takes you longer than it should,
right?
From the area, but you felt like I said, no, wait, wasn't it a left? No, it's like
it's like he walks up to the end of a street and then goes to the left and just gets yanked back to the right.
It helped a little bit. It helped a little
But not enough.
You still drank 3/4 of a bottle of cooking.
No, it was half a bottle, not 3/4 of a bottle.
It was
Half a bottle of cooking wine.
Stop increasing this to keep him drunk for longer.
It's like ouzo.
Yeah, Elvish cooking wine.
Thank you, Myra Sword, for the 100 bits there. I heard there was a kebab here. Yes, you just.
Oh god. Oh god. This I like how this. I'm liking how this session's turned out.
Yeah. So I'm going. So I'm going.
So you finally get there. It takes you instead of like maybe the half hour, it's probably 45, 50 minutes. That it took you in actuality. But you finally arrive, and what you find is like it's a large multi-story building in the open air. There's nothing above it. It's on the edge of like the next, like there's no level atop this part of the city. And you can see it's got the sigil of the city displayed there, which looks to be a very stylized hammer with a looks to be some sort of bird transposed on the head of the hammer. So instead of it being like an actual hammer, it's like two beaked faces, kind of pointing separately. That looks to be the admin building from the looks of it, because it looks to be official of some sort, and it is in the same colors as all the guards are wearing right now that you've ran into. It looks closed. The main doors are these large, and by large I mean like 10-foot tall, like iron and wood monstrosities that are like 2 doors per entrance, like that swing, that swing outward, or they would swing inward. And yeah, they all seem to be closed, and there does look to be a couple of guards standing next to those doors, like probably the night watch for this building. And you don't see any lights coming out of it. This looks to be maybe the general admin building as well as the library.
Okay. I'm going to go and ask them what time the library opens.
Okay, so you walk up the stairs. This isn't the Narrows district, so the guards, like, as you like randomly come out of the crowd, walk up there, like, you can see some of them are looking at you. The one you approach is like got his hand's not on his sword, but he's got that kind of scabbard.
Yeah.
His offhand's on the scabbard, so if he needs to, he can like get it over quick. When he like, holds out his hand and make you stop, maybe about 5 feet further than normal, like talking kind of distance between you is.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you need?
Just wondering what time the library opens in the morning.
Around 10.
Thank you. And walk away.
Watch you go.
Right. Important. Importantly,
yeah.
Whilst he's approaching the guard and going up to communicate to them, I am looking around the bit. I walk off, looking around the building, see if there's any side passages, side routes, side entrances. Investigate the case, casing the place out.
Yeah, well, what it seems to be is that the front of the building is the part that's at the there's a front of the building, and then there's maybe a 7-foot wall that stretches out from the front part of the building that goes down the sides. That's maybe, judging from the distance that you like, if you judge the wall to the actual edge of the actual side of the building, maybe there's like a 10-foot gap between where the wall is and where the side of the building is. That seems to be stretching out from, there's nothing blocking your entrance to the front of the building, but the sides and back all have this wall to them. It's stone brick. Well, that's somewhat redundant. It's a brick. It doesn't have any like ornamental spikes or anything on the top of it. It's just pretty squared off brick wall.
How big is the wall?
Like I said, about 7 foot tall.
7 foot.
About 7 foot tall, yeah. And like I said, about 10 feet between where the wall ends and the actual edge of the building, the nearest to any part of the wall. It gets a little bit more in the back. If you walk further enough back, it's maybe about a 20 to 30 foot, because it's more rounded there. So it just depends on which section you would go over. You can see there's like some greenery in the back part, so there might be like a garden or some sort of like park or something back there. Like you can see some trees and you can hear like some water running back there. You can see a back entrance. It's the same thing in the front, but like the same kind of door in the front, but it's in the back, and it's not what's the word? It's not like it's not in like a little alcove. It's right on the edge of the wall to the building itself.
Okay.
Still, you'd have to get over the retaining wall on the exterior to get and through the like 30 foot of open space to get to it. There's also windows along the edge of almost all of this, the building proper structure. And from what you can see on the inside, it looks to be pretty open. You see a lot of like edges of shelves and books and stuff. You can see some what look to be smaller rooms that have windows to them. But there's no light. The only thing you're getting is the little bits of faint light that's still in the air as the sun's going down. But you're seeing through here. It looks like the building is pretty well closed down for the night.
Okay.
But that's what you see.
I'm going to investigate the back. What does this back door? This back door is it quite sturdy, or?
Well, you're kind of like stretching your neck over and like you're back from the retaining wall that's separating you 30 feet from the actual back end of the building to see this. So it's hard to spot. So give me a perception check. Like if I was gonna draw this, like there's
9.
Forgive my bad what is the word? My bad drawing skills, but like you've got a little thing like this for the
drawing. Where's the drawing happening?
on the map, the map of Gorgon.
Oh, got it. Give me a sec. I'm in the wrong map then.
Oh,
It's in the ocean.
He's put a door in the ocean.
Okay.
This is a top-down view.
I'm opening the map. Just give me a second. It's loading.
When you get it up, when you get the map up, it's in the bay. The square bit is the actual building, and the outer bit that's the wall. The back door is here, and then there are 2 front doors here. And like this isn't to scale at all, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Perception check for the 9. You can't really tell too much. You can tell that it's very solid wood, like giant, like maybe not giant, but like maybe as thick as your head, like sections of wood that are all connected by iron work that holds the doors together. There's 2 separate ones that would swing to open, and that's what you see. It looks like there's locks on them, and that's what you can see from where you're at. As to their sturdiness, that's all you get. Is that it's big, heavy wood and iron.
Okay.
It's pretty much it's pretty much exactly the same setup as the front doors are, except just a little bit smaller scale.
Okay. I'm gonna head back round to where we were. Go find Rivallon.
Okay, you're not hard to find. Like again, the average height is pretty small, pretty low to the ground here. So yeah, you can spot Rivallon over there. So, yeah, you meet back up with him.
Rivallon.
Hello.
I have a great idea.
We're not breaking in.
What? No. No. What if we dress Owen like a librarian? Have him enter
Break in
with the man as his guest.
I tell you what, why don't we go find Arwen and have a chat with Isaac in the morning, and we'll put the plan to them.
No, you don't. It's brilliant plan.
I'm not suggesting it's not. All I'm saying is
the names are, and then we have their names, and we could say, oh yes, I talked to blah 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 last night, and then they think, oh, they must know the gods. They know that they must work here then, because they obviously on first name basis with God.
Justinia.
It's perfect. This plan is perfect. No. I'm telling you, the plan is perfect.
I'm just imagining
Brilliant.
Slightly swaying.
Swaying as I say this. This plan is perfect. And then I immediately turn around.
Okay.
Immediately...
How about this? I'm not convinced. Let me sleep on it, and I'll give you my answer in the morning.
No, you'll see. Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna go up to the guards.
I'm going to move away from the doors.
Question for the DM. Roughly, how much is bail for drunk and disorderly?
You're gonna find out, probably.
It's okay. It's in my list of things to do is to find a book of laws, so I can figure out what the laws are.
The 2 that are by the door that you approached, like they do the same thing. They're off hands on the scabbard. They're looking at you through like.
I've already moved away.
Closed eyes.
Hey, buddy. Hey. What's your name?
They look at each other. Sir, you're drunk. Go home.
I just want to talk. What's your name?
God.
I have to follow the character.
It's very true.
This isn't
is
my
fantastic.
reaction. This is the guard's reaction.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I've done this with a friend before.
What's your name?
Dubar.
Dubar. And your name, sir?
Yeah. Let's see here. Hold on. Fucking get names. This other one's a human. Eric.
Eric. Dubar and Eric. Let's note that down. Dubar and Eric. Yeah, Dubar, Eric. You know, it's obvious I'm not from around here. You know, I come from the plains over mountains, and I come to this big city, and I'm wondering, you know any good places to have the fun time? You look like the kind of gentleman that know the fun time.
You're on your own, buddy.
You want to take this? Oh, you're good. Sir?
Rivallon stealth check.
This is city property.
Yes, I'm on it. Stealth check.
This is city property, sir. You're not really supposed to be here at this time of day, so I ask you, please, just
18 plus 5. I got a 23.
go home.
I am a
sleep it
shadow.
off. Whatever it is you have to sleep off, just sleep it off, sir. I'm sure you'll feel better in the morning.
Ah, you can't tell me where I might be able to enjoy me. Ah, fine. Okay, sorry. Sorry, God.
Sure you'll
What's your
enjoy
name
a nice
again?
night's sleep, sir.
Of course, sorry. Dubar. Yes,
Guardsman Jabbar.
Guardsman Dubar. I will go. And take your advice. Thank you very much. And then I start walking off.
Look at you as you walk down the stairs. Tonight, right? Yeah, I don't know. You catch as you walk away.
So, what was their names again? I've just known it. Dubar
and Eric.
Erin. Eric. Okay.
However,
It's like
Houston, you're
Eric,
being
but
very
with
drunk. He
you.
might have heard it with.
That's
whatever you
actually
think
a good point.
Yeah, whatever you think is Stenny.
Erin.
Eric. Okay. Got the names noted. So gonna
What's our
gonna
time,
head
by the
off.
way, just so I know.
Sorry?
I've got about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
25 minutes. Okay. Wanna check. I sent a text to you, Midge, but you never got because you're streaming. So,
Didn't even
Alright.
get on my phone.
yeah. So,
Step 2 complete.
so what are you doing now?
Heading off and like getting Rivallon with me as well, and I'm gonna be like once we're sort of at.
I appear at your side.
To be out. What I think, like if I can catch up with him, maybe, and then be like, hey, I got the names. I got the names.
Congratulations.
Because he's in stealth right now.
I'm in stealth mode, mate.
He's
I'm
at
in super stealth.
23 stealth. Roll
Okay.
perception.
6.
You get down the stairs and you look around and it's just like, where did Rivallon go?
Where's Rivallon go? Ah, bush. And then I just do that whole sort of like I'm slightly buzzed and I totally think I know where I'm going, but I probably don't right now, even
Kind of
with my natural skill.
Leading with like your hips, kind of. Yep.
The booze bus is taking me
You
places.
left a just left a Drunkuteshian inside of Gorgon.
No, I didn't. I can see him. He can't see me.
Yeah,
You're following him
I'm
like a
heading
bad
off.
chaperone. Just like,
Yes, I am.
At what point will you reveal yourself? How far will this go?
Yeah.
I will reveal myself once you start doing something really stupid, and I can actually pull you away from it.
So where are you doing, Estenia?
I'm going to wander off, and then once I'm far enough away from the place, I'm going to look for someone that can point me away to Taylor's.
No. At this time.
Yes. The idea's fresh in his head. I'm playing to the character. He's in that drunken, smart, brilliant, but actually stupid idea phase.
See, this is why there's no point in me actually being with him at the moment, because he's not going to listen to reason.
But it's great.
It's great.
His plan is flawless.
You can always offer him more booze.
It's true. You could say, "Why don't we just go to a tavern and stand there, just have a drink? Let's."
Yeah, no, that's not a bad idea. I appear at his side.
Well, hold
Look,
on.
let
Hold
me-
on. He said he
I'm
was going to do
accosting
something.
some
We gotta
poor
finish this
random
out.
sod.
Okay. So you're walking along and you see like. Give me a perception check. Actually, who do you see? It's getting late. It's getting late. So there's just only a few certain
12.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Hold on a second. Okay. That wasn't good. So
I love that while all this is going to be going on, I'm praying.
Yeah.
There's so much counterpoint to this party. It's hilarious.
And I'm probably like sitting outside the temple just waiting.
It's just like,
Working on my book a little bit.
yeah. Okay, Ustenia, you see like what looks to be a like to you fully grown dwarvish man, but to Rivallon, you see him like stop probably a preteen dwarf boy.
I'm so worried.
In the street, and so Ustenia, how are you stopping? What
I'm gonna like. I assume that I have stopped him because he has good clothes, or what I think are good clothes on.
Oh
He
god.
does.
Fancy threadwear. I'm gonna be like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
looking smart there. You're looking very good there. Can I ask where you get the clothes from?
Oh no.
So this like preteen dwarf boy looks up at his clothes, looks up. I don't know if I can actually crack my voice on purpose. It's like beaming with self-confidence, as is
Teenagers do.
This is like the drunken version of how do you do, my fellow kids, right now.
Yeah. Really, you think? That's great.
Yeah, I think you're looking great. You know who your tailor? Need tailor.
Oh, my tailor. Just looks back and forth. Back and forth. Yeah, obviously lying. Oh well, you probably wouldn't know him.
No, well, I got money, and I'm gonna like throw him some random amount of gold coins from my pocket for the information.
Oh,
Here's 2 gold coins. Hey, come on, tell me who he is.
It's more money
Can
than
I-
this child has probably ever had.
Can I
looks at the gold
now
coins,
appear
looks
at his side, please? Can I?
Hold on. Hold on. You didn't stop this interaction, so I know how long I want this to go for before you come in. He looks at the gold coins, looks at you, looks back and forth. Sure. Just go like a block, and it's the first brick building on your right left.
First,
and then you
bit
find it.
right, left.
Left.
You say left, right, right,
You
left,
won't-
left.
You can't
Okay.
miss them. You can't miss
Okay.
them. It's a great shop. Good luck, sir. And starts walking away with your gold.
Okay, I'm gonna obviously attempt to proceed before I'm
Rivallon, this is
accosted
when
by
this is
Rivallon.
when you show up.
Hey, Ustenia. You're not arrested.
Rivallon. This is going brilliant. It's going brilliant.
Well,
I
how
have
about?
their
Whoa!
names.
Calm down. Calm
Grabbing
down.
on your
Okay,
shoulders.
okay, calm down. Calm down. How about we go and get a drink, and you can explain everything to me.
Yeah, I know where the tailor is. He's in the next block, first on the left. The boy tell me he know where the tailor. I get
Excellent.
the information. I know their names. We gotta go there now.
2 things. 1, they'll be closed.
What do you mean they'll be closed?
It's the end of the day. Oh, look all the
Is it?
shops. They're all closed.
Is it?
Ustenia, you look up. It's night.
Oh,
Okay, and
oh
2,
yeah.
we need to have R1 here so we can make sure the clothes fit.
Ah, yes, we need to do. Yeah, you're right.
So let's go and get a
Let's
drink.
go get on one.
Yeah, get a drink.
And a drink. Yeah, we'll get a drink too.
And then we can come back in the morning when the place is open and get the soup made.
I love it.
Okay?
Okay.
Alright, let's go find R1, get a beer, chill out, wait till morning.
All right. If you wanted to, you could have started rolling opposed checks to see if you could convince them, but I'm good. I'm good with that. That worked out. So
it is night.
That's a very good point for his tenure.
Oh yeah.
While this is going,
I thought I was just getting cloudy vision.
Well, this is going on, which took the better part of like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Because you've been walking around and you've been trying to find things. Stania had a kebab.
Kebabs exist even in the fantasy
so
realm.
We go an hour and a half in the past as Isaac walks into a church of his own god.
Complete switch in the podcast from drunken reverie to religiousness.
Benedictine monks are singing. So, you enter the building. You enter the building, and
I take off my hood.
Yeah, it's more active now. It's obviously the people who do worship Palor in the city do observe the same kind of routine. They worship in the morning and they worship at night. They worship first dawn and dusk is kind of their two major prayers of the day. So you see probably a good maybe 30 or 40 people in this building. They're dwarfed by the size of it, but they're all worshiping. They're near the bust of Palor, and you see a couple of initiates and some I forget what I called them off the top of my head. I think it was initiates or whatever, the lower ranks.
Yeah, initiates, you said.
Initiates, yeah. Near the bust as well, just keeping an eye on everything. And you see a couple of the more higher ranked individuals off to the side.
The acolytes.
Yeah. Acolyte would be a good answer. I don't have this all written down in front of me.
That's the character background I remember as a thing.
Yeah. You see a couple of acolytes standing near one of the exits to the main door, and you see the individual that you talked to originally that had brought you to Agatha, or that had Agatha brought Agatha to you, Norna. Thank you. I was going to say that. I have it written down, actually. But, yes, I'm glad that you wrote it down, too. Norna, she sees you, and she kind of, not waves you over, but she, beckons you forward very smoothly. It's not drawing attention away from the worship. But you do see she's with, maybe 4 other acolytes. They're, her, another woman, and, one dragonborn male and a half-elf male, just kind of standing around there. So when you're beckoned over, they all bow their head to you, and he's like, Inquisitor.
Oh, he's feeling right at home right now.
Please, call me Isaac.
As you wish. Sister Agatha and the High Priest are both expecting you in the central chamber. Would you like me to lead you?
That would be very kind of you.
Bows her head and starts moving, leaving the other 3 acolytes to watch over their initiate inside of the main chamber. You walk in, and at first you thought it was leading into an interior part of the monastery, but it's a side room that leads to an exterior. What you thought was a big building, from the way that it was kind of designed, you can see only a part of it is an enclosed building that you were in. there's another one to the other side, and now this is all one big central open-air square.
God.
In the
Oh,
side.
okay. Square. Very nice.
Well, no, it's got some paths around it, but it's a lot of greenery, trees, a couple of like fountains, very nice, pristine, and you walk through the main thoroughfare. You can see others talking slightly. Maybe they've already done their prayers, or some of them are carrying scrolls and other things from one of the interior buildings to an exterior building, kind of just going about their day. And you're led towards it's not as big as the central church. This one's smaller in the back, but it's the same general shape. It seems to be attached to maybe living quarters off to the side of it as well. And you enter with Narna guiding you, and she stops before going in all the way, and she says, "They'll be waiting for you inside, Inquisitor. Isaac."
Thank you very much.
Bows her head, walks away. And you can hear on the inside some kind of low talking, kind of the grating voice of Sister Agatha. You can kind of hear just talking with a male voice, a gentleman who's from what you can hear talking in a dwarvish accent. Hold on a second. And when you enter the interior, you see. Trying to find it here. Narrows district. Where the heck is the? Hold on a second. Trying to. There we go. Telling you, I've got a lot of pages of notes for this damn place.
It's fine.
Heck is his name? Yeah. So you enter, and you see Sister Agatha. Looks to be another Sister Superior, who's there as well. Not as old, but definitely wearing the same garb as Agatha. And you see an individual who's wearing looks to be like a male version of the Sister Superior, like same kind of symbols and calling of rank, but slightly more ornate. This definitely looks to be a high priest of the entire temple and monastery. And when you enter, you make an impression because you're a good 2 heads taller than the nearest person there. I mean, you don't hit the ceiling or anything like that because it's a high top ceiling. It's made to be open, a lot of sunlight in. But
it's just when a large person enters the room because you kind of go.
Yeah, look over, and the male dwarf looks over to you and goes, "Oh, you must be the Inquisitor that Sister Agatha was telling me about."
Do you have any other 6-foot men that have turned up lately?
Was that on the wind?
Indeed, but please call me Isaac.
Yes, Inquisitor Isaac. And he holds out his hand to shake yours.
I shake his hand.
You were going to join us for evening prayers.
If you would have me, yes.
It's always good to have an individual from one of the other monasteries and churches join us. Unfortunately, they don't do many pilgrimages out to the freeholds as much. Miles, if you would so lead us in prayer, we would be greatly honored.
Oh, okay,
This is where we find out. This is where we find out Isaac doesn't know anything about Paylor. It's all a lie.
Okay, I
he killed the Inquisitor and he just took his clothes.
No, of course. I will. That would be a religion check, I guess.
Yes, it will.
Okay. If you wish, though, the establishment being under your command, I would say the honor is all yours.
Nonsense. And you see in front of you the obvious accoutrements of the evening prayer and the leading of the evening prayer. There is a starburst. There is a starburst symbol that is usually held on a chain that's made to look like a star and light. And you hold that with like this.
Yeah, I thought I was just it popped into my head like a pink little starburst.
Oh yeah. A starburst pattern that is made of metal that is painted to look like a starry, like like light.
No, it's too late now. We've got starburst in our head now. That's it.
You also have a chain. You also have a chained ball. You have like a ball that's held onto a chain that's got holes in it that burns incense, and you're meant to hold these as you deliver an evening prayer to the individuals in front of you. So make a religion check for this.
Okay. No advantage or anything.
No advantage, no. Unless you had something to give you advantage, or you can weigh anything on that.
Other than the fact
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while, I guess. Yeah, so that would be. Okay then.
You don't necessarily have a book of prayers and psalms on you.
No, I don't. It's all from memory.
It's all from memory.
It's
like,
13.
You go into it, and you're just like, you bring it up, you're just like, and you deliver the evening prayers. It's very formulaic. It's very stiff, and you trip up your words during the midpoint, but it's not the worst you've ever seen. It's not the worst you've ever done in your life. And
Or was that one back in Fall Harbor that I gave to some kids that was a bit...
Yeah, it wasn't that good. So this one is better than that, and they don't seem to mind. Like they noticed that you screwed up some little bit, but they kind of just like you can see as they're praying, they're just like.
At the end,
like
I apologize to them. I'm sorry. It has been a while since I've prayed in the company of others.
We all pray in our own way, brother. And you see one of the Sister Superior, not Agatha. You see her like from like one of her sleeves. She goes like, "I think you might need this more than I, Inquisitor." And you look down.
Give me a prayer book.
It's a book of prayers and songs.
I was gonna ask for one. That's hilarious. I'll take it.
She like holds. She does the thing where she like puts it in your hand, has her hand underneath your hand, that grabs it and puts it, and then walks away. It seems with evening prayers gone, that Sister Superior leaves. But Agatha and the High Priest, which you haven't actually asked his name, so you don't know what his name is or anything like that. And by the way, he's got like unlike other dwarves you've seen, he has a very shortly trimmed beard. Like it's actually being trimmed down quite a bit. And again, salt and pepper hair. He's not old, but he's older.
40s?
Yeah,
or dwarvish equivalent. Dwarvish equivalent.
Like I think that's like 60. I think because they look like 120. So he's like 60-ish dwarf. So it's older. But they after the other Sister Superior leaves, Agatha and the High Priest look over towards you. We were hoping to maybe inquire for some aid. You are a traveled individual by the look of you. Looking to some of the stains, like the faint after images of stains on your tabard, etc. We've been in need of an individual who could aid us in a matter that we have not been able to have the city itself help us with.
What is it I can do for the faithful?
Well, you see, one of a group of missionaries was sent to the Sukesh Isles about a year ago. The homeland of the Tabaxi. When they were sent, it was mostly to help in the local church to construct a temple at the capital city. and to help with various charities and orphanages in the Isle. They were due to return about a week ago. Unfortunately, the skyship that they were boarded on has not arrived, and we've been unable to receive any answer whatsoever about the location or what has happened. They say that it has been delayed, but we've heard discontent among some of the merchants who also had items and cargo and goods on the ship. It was the ship itself was named the second. This one actually I did not have pre-printed out before today, so I have to look at my digital note. The ship was called the Aquilon, which is Aquilon.
Okay.
She's an older skyship. She makes runs exclusively to the Tabaxi Isles. Usually, you can set your calendar by her, but haven't seen hide nor hair for the last week. We were hoping maybe you could aid in finding out what's going on. Maybe asking the dockmaster for the Sky Dock, or finding out what's going on, or asking some of the dock workers. They may be more amenable to talking to you. And after the high priest gets done, you see Sister Agatha, who's taking like a backseat to the conversation. She's definitely she's the senior of these two, in terms maybe not in rank, but she's been here longer. And you can see her go, like, elbows him slightly. Like, that's just enough that you can tell she did it, but obviously, if you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
And there was another thing. The missionary group was also carrying an artifact of great importance to the monastery that we were hoping would aid in the Sukeshian chapters, guiding of others towards the faith. It was due to come back with that. And again, it is of great import. We were hoping that it has not been lost, and that it can be, if it has been, that it can be found again, if anything has happened to the equivalent. It's known as the Star of Palor. If you wanted, I don't.
Well, I have heard of that.
Make a religion check.
I was going to say that sounds kind of important as a relic. Religion check. Oh, there we go. 21.
So you can do this when it's academic information, you're good. But just when it's applied to things, it's really you're not that great.
He's just not good at public speaking.
That's why he's an inquisitor and not a priest.
Yeah, it's true. So you do know of it. It's been talked about before. It's something that you've been told about here and there. Each monastery has its own relic. Yours was actually hold on. I'll have to look. I'll have to figure that one out because I need to know more about your monastery beforehand before I can give that. But you had a monastery relic. You've been to a couple of others during visitations and things like that in the First Kingdom. You've heard of this one. This is one that was discovered maybe 1,000 years ago, and it's the symbol of Palor. You know, the star. That is it's metal, about the size that you would wear around like a necklace, like a pendant, like a little oversized pendant, and it was blessed directly by Palor before he ascended into becoming a deity.
Okay.
So it's directly that's the mythology behind it. It was directly touched and blessed by him before.
Like a nail of the true cross kind of scenario.
Kinda, or like a shroud of Tehran or something like that. Like it's one of those like every
or
every
the
monastery-
armor of the blades for in Oblivion that you get the blood of a god from. If
Yeah.
you play the
So like
storyline
every monastery has something kind of like this, like something that was either touched or a miracle, or maybe of like one of his acolytes of the time when he was still walking, like that kind of stuff. So yeah, you've heard of it. It's said to grant powers to the wearer, but it's mostly used for worship.
Okay.
It was highly secretive when we brought it to the Isle. And it was not supposed to be known to be on the ship when it was returning either. So we're hoping that this is unrelated to the whole situation. That maybe a storm just hit and the ship has anchored itself somewhere to wait it out. But if it hasn't, it is of great import that it be found.
There is definitely some things myself and, to an extension, my friends will be able to help in these matters. I can, with your help, I might be able to consult some divine providence on the matters. To put it vaguely, maybe in tomorrow's prayers at first light, you would lead a ceremony, and I may be able to get into contact with somebody closer to Palor than I. If you would assist me.
Look at you somewhat strangely, but if you are willing to help, then I am willing to aid you in that help.
Well,
Inquisitor Isaac, we can arrange it. Give me the specifications of the ritual. If it is not common, I will do my best.
It would be helpful to be close to. Unfortunately, the star would have been the prime artifact, but if you have any other relics in the temple, being close to them, as close to first light as possible, and
there is a scepter that was carried by a cleric of Palor that was one of the originators of this monastery. It is our second most treasured artifact.
And if you could lead prayers and as many, not as many, but as
I think it's a good idea.
I may be able to get in contact with an acquaintance of mine very close to Palor.
Again, looks at you somewhat strangely. Who am I to question?
Is there anything else I can do?
Not as pressing as this. There are other things that could always be worked. This is far more. Thank you, Inquisitor Isaac.
I will return just before first light to prepare myself.
We will be ready.
Okay. And with that, I am going to return to the party if I can find them. Arwen's outside, so I'm going to be able to find him.
I'm going to say this. You all, I'm going to say serendipitous. Isaac, you get out there, and our one's waiting for you. And as you're talking amongst yourselves, you see a slightly less drunk but more tipsy Ustenia and a Rivallon walking up to you. And
Okay.
I think with that though, I think that's going to be the end of today's episode.
It is. We are. Yeah, we're 5 minutes over on this session.
Yes, we are.
But
I thought it was good to finish that. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was good to finish that, and it was so worth it to go through those drunken escapades earlier. But as always, thank you everybody for watching, and thank you to Roach for creating the scenario, and thank you for these guys, especially these guys today, for hanging out with me and playing D&D, because Christ did I laugh a lot today. We'll be back.
We are here to serve.
We won't be here next week.
Will we not?
No.
This is the first time I've heard of it.
I'm filming.
He's filming. He's doing
I'm
work as an actor.
I'm acting next week. So
no change there then.
So we won't have we won't have a session next week.
Do you guys want to do Rising Storm again? Because I loved that.
I'm sure we can do something next week.
Or we could do Apex Legends, because I've got that as well.
We'll have 4 of us, so that won't work.
It's only 3 people max on that. But we can figure out something. We'll talk it over.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll have that. But yeah, for D&D, won't be a session next week.
Won't be a session next week.
Might actually work out for me because I have an essay due, so I'll probably work on that instead.
All right.
Very good. Well, anyway, we will see you next week. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for the raid from Lambert on my end, and thank you for the bits from Baggy. Thank you for stopping by, everybody, and we will see you whenever.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.